I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
What is up? We got Quantum. What's up, Quantum? How's your day going? How's your day going? Taking home, checked in a little early. Man! And Dory out here talking about, hey, get it, Kamala. Kamala. I'll give her that much respect. Man, how's y'all's day going? What's up? What's up? We are going to be talking about a couple of different things, a couple of things I wanted to react to that were bothering me. Been sitting in my spirit a while for this one, but then this other one this week. This week it's been ugly. Good day. Good to hear. Glad you're having a good day. Yeah, it's not too bad. I got some paperwork done. I realized I didn't pay a bill I was supposed to pay last month. Thankfully, nothing came of it. What's up? Yella's in the building. What's up, my guy? Rico should be here shortly. But yeah, let me just let y'all know what we're going to be talking about. There is a lady who was talking about African-American vernacular English. She is on the left side of the thumbnail. Gothics. She's a streamer, content creator, whatever you want to call her. That was the first thing I want to react to. It's going to be my kind of like a warm-up. But then we are definitely going to talk about Mrs. Harris. We are going to talk about Mrs. Kamala. We got Ty Lieber in the building. What's up, Ty Liebs? Good to see you. Good to see you. Went to the gym. Yeah, getting that sweat on. Getting that workout in. That's good. Healthy. Happy for you. I need you to go back for me because I'm not. You get a session in. One for you, one for me. One for you, one for me. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays for you. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays for me. All right? That's how we're going to do that. Cool. All right, so. Oh, my God. I have to see if the video is going to play on my computer, if it's going to have that lag, or if I'm going to have to play it from YouTube. So let me get ready to share a video. Video file. Boom. Let's see if this plays. Tell me if this plays, y'all. When it starts playing on my side, everything always... Why you gotta be facing me with all that? Anyway, I'm gonna pull this in. Let me know if it plays fluidly for you. On my side, it always plays fine. But you guys sometimes get like choppy video, but the audio comes through. Let me know if that happens here.
Source at a Flint, Michigan school recently shared what appears to be a class assignment. Now, if you take a look at this assignment, you can see the instructions state that Black students should write their assignment in Black English.
So tell me, was that chopping up for y'all, the video? Could y'all see her moving fluidly, or was it like That's what I need to know. Dog, long time no see. Good to see you, dog. Good to see you.
It was cool.
What's up, Rico?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Nice to be with you again.
Good to have you. Good to have you, Nova. If you're a strong advocate for the school to prison pipeline like me, make sure to vote. God, it was fine. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, listen, the pettiness of Yella. Yeah, Yella petty. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put him down here by himself. I don't want him flicking me up. Google. Hey, Google, stop talking. Give me a second. Had to turn that mic off. I don't know why. Wow. That's what we doing today? Is how we starting this off? That's how we starting this off. Okay. All right, that's how we starting off. Listen. So Rico, I'm glad you could make it. Yella, you as well. There's a video that's been bothering me for a while. It's been bothering me for a while, and I want to get you guys' take on it. And then behind that, we're going to get into some of the Kamala conversation. If you'll indulge me for the first part, we'll get into the Kamala after that, because I want to hear you guys' take. I might be tripping. I could be tripping, but I have a take, and we're going to get into this video, and let me know what you guys think. Just tell me to pause it wherever you guys need me to pause. Hold up. Let's start this over.
An inside source at a Flint, Michigan school recently shared what appears to be a class assignment. Now, if you take a look at this assignment, you can see the instructions state that Black students should write their assignment in Black English, while non-Black students should write their assignment in plain English. I am a Black woman. I've been Black my entire life, to my knowledge, and I always thought that I've been using plain English. So now I start wondering, have I actually been using Black English the entire time? I did.
Now, this is allegedly an adult and somebody who identifies as Black who doesn't know what type of English she's been using her entire life. So that was my first thing. Has some medical issues. On top of that, sheet now, not gone long due. Okay.
Is she not knowing the type of English she's doing, or is she just questioning it because of this circumstance? Because, like, I would be like, I've been speaking English, but let me go a little deeper to see what the hell they're talking about with this so-called Black English. Unless the only thing that would have popped in my mind was, of course, Ebonics. Outside of that, I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what she's talking about. Ebonics, okay. African American Vernacular English, AAVE. She called it Black English.
That is still English, plain English. It's just a variation of it.
A dialect. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. But she thinks it's a thing.
Yes, not a thing. It's a dialect. I hope no teacher actually gave that assignment out.
I mean, it's a little weird.
And the reason why, because it would. Because I will say that even though a lot of the Ebonics and African American vernacular we created, other people of other ethnicities still use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have to be Black to speak Ebonics or African American vernacular, because other ethnicities always copy us. So why the fuck would you tell them to, like they don't use it? You could have had anybody of any of the young generation. You could ask any kid to write in Ebonics. They all know it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That bitch straight up get hit with a switch though. Okay, he rapping. I'm sure that's a rap lyric. American English is a thing. American English is a progression and evolution of a language. Exactly. I still use the original being from the UK. Absolutely. Right. And I'm a star of that, because that's going to be my point at the end of this. Because I'm like, okay, because she goes somewhere with this, and I'm like, that's interesting where she takes it.
Black English is the same thing as Black
research. And
well, what you say, Yella? You breaking up? Unless that's me.
I think that's Yella.
Yeah, whatever mic you was using on the last stream, we need you to bring that back.
Country Mike.
Yeah, it's doing something weird. Yeah,
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
He got one of them NABJ mics.
Yeah, man.
I'm on the wrong mic. Can you hear me though? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's what speaking in Black English sounds like. He's speaking Black English. That's why it's broken. Now we can hear you, but it's like there's something going on where it's like cutting out. The audio's cutting out on it and crackling, but only when you talk.
All right, hold on. Y'all go ahead.
All right, cool.
Apparently, this phenomenon of Black English is something called AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English. Again, I thought I've always been using plain English, evidently not. I came across a video from Babbel, and if you don't know what Babbel is, it is, I believe it's a service that teaches you how to speak different languages. So I find it interesting that they also have a video on AAVE, so I'm going to take their word for it. They must know what they're talking about.
So she found a video on a language site that teaches linguistics, that teaches other languages. And she says they have a lesson on AAVE, a dialect of English. So she says she's going to take their word for it. I'm like, okay, sounds promising.
Watch this video together and see if we can get a better understanding of what AAV is, or Black English.
Sounds very sensible.
Because we're all about growth here. We're all about educating ourselves and empowering ourselves, you know? So this should be interesting. Let's take a look.
But as you can tell from the music and the snark in her voice, she already has a feeling about it.
Listen.
In standard American English, you would say she doesn't like, whereas in AAVE, you would say she don't like. So we can see that in AAVE, the verb to do is conjugated in the third person plural, rather than the third person singular. Next up is the present progressive tense, which is used to explain something that is happening in real time. For example, Nadine is going shopping. But in AAVE, you would drop the is and just say Nadine going shopping. Parts of the verb, like is and are often dropped in AAVE because the meaning is already implied. Now, if someone said Nadine be going shopping, this has an entirely different meaning and brings us into the territory of the habitual be. The habitual be signifies that something is off.
Nova is a habitual be. Totally different meaning, but Nova is a habitual be. He knows.
Even the concept of having a class to teach AAVE is dumb within itself, because AAVE and Ebonics has no rules. Like standard language typically have rules. Like there is no conjugation of verbs in AAVE. You can use it one way in a particular way, and another person can use it another way, a different conjugation of the same verb, or will insert a bastardized, like could use, like she did the thing is like something doesn't like you and someone changed it to don't, and then in some instances you could just not even use the verb. So that's the whole thing where you have to have rules, and there are no rules for Ebonics. It's just a recognized dialect. It's not, now there's no rules for it. No rules, or there's no rules for how everyone speaks. And I want to say it exists, I think, in Spanish. It exists as well. If you're familiar with people who speak Spanish, there are lots of different ways depending on the country of the Spanish
absolutely.
speaker. So it's just, but regular, I guess plain Spanish has rules, but all these variants based on the geography or the country, they just throw the shit out. They just do. And it's not the same, even though they all are speaking Spanish, because the region, the dialect, all that matters.
Okay, let's see if Yella's back. You back, Yella?
All right, we good?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Perfect. Perfect. That's regular English right there. We good. We good. That's AAVE. Definitely AAVE. But that's what I was going to say, Rico. There are rules to AAVE because she was actually citing the rules. We do speak. We don't just throw stuff out, or we wouldn't be able to understand each other. If everybody changed the language, however they just threw it out, there are standards and norms that we say. Those become the rules. The rules are because we consistently do it and we've accepted it. So like that habitual beat that she talked about, a lot of people do that, which made it the rule. Like, oh, we do be doing that, don't like we do that. That's something that we do. And that's the rule. That becomes the rule.
Do we acknowledge that even here in America that we changed the AAVE based on geography?
Yeah.
There are different dialects.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because people in the north speak a type of AAVE. People in the south speak a different type. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. So that's where but English is standard across the geography because it has rules.
Nope.
So maybe I would think you need a different word.
But here's why I got to disagree. English is not standard across the geography because people, even people that are not black, people that speak American English, like Dog pointed out, people that speak American English talk differently on the West Coast than they do in the South, than they do in the Midwest, than they do in the Upper Peninsula, like Michigan, than they do on the far East Coast. They even use English differently.
So I would have to say this then. Then if that is the case, then all variations of English outside of the original King's English is a bastardization. As to saying that all versions of Spanish outside of all languages come from Latin, I believe, right? Latin is the dying language. I think
it's one of the oldest. It's one of the oldest that we know. It's the oldest that we use or speak to.
Right. So, but so that's what I'm just saying. Just like you're right. So American English is a bastardization. It's just another form of AEVE.
Exactly.
It's the same. Your plain English isn't fucking plain. It's a bastardization of the old King's English.
Yes.
They all are.
Yes.
That's right, bro. Absolutely, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, so y'all, you got to my point because I'm like, this lady, so she's so worked up, she gets so bothered by this, but like, you're the very thing you're talking about. But I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit.
Hey, so I just had a thought though. So is AAVE?
Yes.
African American Vernacular English?
Yes.
Yes.
Now you could tell black folks ain't made this damn name up because why the hell ain't no black folks gonna be talking about vernacular? We don't even use the word vernacular.
Nope.
So
that's why we call it ebonics. We call it ebonics.
Yep.
Because we wouldn't get ready to say all that.
Right, we ain't finna be like as this African American. That's why it ended up being letters.
Yeah.
All that shit.
That shit hurt my head.
Say all that. See.
Well, you know what the biggest reason? It's easier for me to spell ebonics. If I have to spell vernacular, I'm gonna fuck that up.
Yeah.
What's up, Inya? We're talking about we be talking about ebonics. And we learned a rule. That's the habitual B. That's also called Nova. The habitual B or Nova. The habitual B. We be up in here chilling.
Yeah.
Or usually done. So, from our example sentence of Nadine be going shopping, the listener understands that, dang, Nadine really loves to shop and she does it frequently. Shopping. And depending on the tone in which this is said, it could imply that Nadine is a shopaholic. But like in most languages, context and tone.
On that example, Nadine be going shopping. Also, we drop it. But listen, the B in some places is completely dropped. And it means the same thing. Nadine be going shopping, Nadine going shopping.
Yeah, it depends on how, again, what we're saying. It depends on what we're trying to say. Sometimes Nadine going shopping, or Nadine be going shopping, or Nadine be shopping.
See, But
be
that's
shopping.
right. See, that's the difference because that B is a different incident. Like
Mm-hmm.
Nadine is shopping. Nadine going shopping be like the current. What is she
Yeah,
doing
Nadine going
right
shopping.
now?
Yeah, Nadine going shopping.
Yeah. Nadine going shopping. But if we're talking about a characteristic of Nadine,
Mm-hmm.
Nadine be shopping. You know what I'm
Nadine
saying?
be shopping.
Nadine be shopping.
Absolutely. She be shopping. Shopping.
Yeah, she be
Absolutely.
shopping.
Yeah. And because we recognize that those are the rules because we recognize them. That means that's a standard, that's a practice that we have, that's a pattern that we have seen in enough places and spaces that we recognize that as a rule of speech. So there are rules, even if nobody's codified them. But it sounds like people have actually codified some of this, even if it's incomplete, even if some of the stuff is regional and selective, there are some rules to about this.
Because I thought of the concept like right now I could say, man, Arshawn be wilding. And then in the next concept, Arshawn's wilding. So when I say Arshawn's wilding, what I'm thinking is one is past tense and one is present tense. Mm-hmm. So even the addition of the word or the omission of the word, it's like there's past tense and present tense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I just know what you're saying.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you didn't, you would be like, what you mean? What you mean? What you mean?
But
It'd be something simple.
I do want to say that what's dishonest about it is, again, that vernacular is shared and spoken by people other than African Americans.
Absolutely. Other people can pick it up because it's language. Other people pick it up. If they're a part of your, if they're around your culture, a part of your culture, they're going to pick up the language and speech patterns. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Can have a huge impact on meaning. In AAVE, you might hear someone say ax instead of the traditional ask, or library instead of library. This is called metathesis, which involves switching around sounds and words.
Now, again, she has a whole big linguistic word, metathesis. But like there's a whole word that can be looked up, and there's probably a definition to it. There's probably an etymology and explanation. This is probably a thing that's happened because like Dog is saying in the chat, language evolves. A lot of the sounds and the words that we use were not their sounds in their original form, because some of these things were pulled from Germanic languages, from the Latin Romantic languages, from all these other different languages. So the sounds have switched because our tongues are not used to them. But go ahead.
But I would say I would have to disagree with her claiming it's metathesis, whatever the hell that is. The reason why I'm saying is because I don't think the mispronunciation of a word, ask and ask, like shrimp and scrimp, is the changing of the sounds. It's in certain regions based on people's language and background. It's a clear mispronunciation that people just come to accept to replace the correct pronunciation of the word. So it's not the conscious changing of the sound. It's people not being able to correctly pronunciate the right way.
Yeah.
So I see them like they're saying, oh, well, they're like, no, they just can't say the fucking word. So the way they say it becomes the new way that they say it. You know, I have a lot of Spanish friends and they cannot say motherfucker. They say motherfucker. They say motherfucker, son of a bitch. You know, and I'm like, yeah, they're saying son of a bitch. They can't, especially words that are hyphenated and put together. So we say motherfucker, they say motherfucker. Yeah, it's just mala. I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah. But they're not changing it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, but you, like you said, they are changing it because you said they're saying it wrong. That's a change. Like you said, it's unintentional. Yeah, they're not conscious of it, but they just their tongue. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I'm like, so there would be a word for that phenomenon. That action would have a word for it. And she's saying that word is metathesis, which the definition is the transposition of sounds or letters in a word, which we do a lot. It doesn't speak to intent. The definition just is the transposition, changing the position of sounds or letters in a word.
That's what it was missing for me, was like, that's just not intentional.
Yeah, I'm kind of more or less. I'm a little bit of where Rico going. I feel like it's more just like a mispronunciation of the word.
We do that a lot.
Instead of instead of like this is part of AAVE. Well, there's a difference in us forming, and it's a difference in structuring a sentence using, because it's supposed to be a variant of what you would call American English. It's not supposed to be a like a disregard of the English either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a purposeful mispronunciation, because it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you can form your lips and say library instead of saying library, because you don't want to say. Now that might be because of, like I said, accent, like Rico was saying, accent wise, something like that. I understand that. But then again, every accent ain't the same in every region. You know what I'm saying? So mispronouncing library on purpose is, I don't see how that's like, I get it, but then that's also to me like the people who say specific instead of Pacific.
Right.
The Pacific Ocean.
Like Pacific instead of Pacific.
Right.
It is Pacific. Okay.
Right.
That's a classic AAVE.
Yeah. Like we kind of let that slide, and then it's like, okay, what Pacific Ocean you talking about? The Atlantic, the Indian. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a line that's approaching. That library is approaching, and that's the specific ocean line.
I get what you're saying, but this is speaking to not a individual person's intent, like, because these are groups of people over time. So all these different groups of people in different locations having the same occurrence happen. It's not, everybody's not doing that intentionally. This is the evolution because some people accept it because that's what they heard. So again, this is not them like, I'm just not going to say it. It's not that I'm not going to say library. Everybody around me said library. Right. So we learn that way. That's how we learn a lot of our languages phonetically, through hearing it. We hear it audibly and we repeat it. And we learn it that way. Now, like y'all said, depending on your region is going to dictate kind of how you form words and sounds. So if you're not used to rolling your R, and then you're in a place where they do roll the R, you're going to struggle with that. And you might have an accepted, we say like broken English, or if somebody has an accent. The accent is somebody not sounding their words and sounds out the same way the people in that region say it. So like this is not an intentional thing. Like, and I get what you're saying. There are people that do refuse to say it right because it's complicated for them. The same way people say that they can't say black names, or we might bastardize stuff like Prisbaluski. We see them where I ain't about to say all that. Like, so there are times where people are just being lazy. Absolutely. 100%. But most of the time it's just accepted circumstances that people are just around or in. So again, I just wanted to pull the intent out of it. And this lady's just talking about what is factual. This is what people do, not whether they do it on purpose or not. It's just, this is what happens.
Okay.
Metathesis is a part of the dialect. Non-AAVE speakers often make fun of it and or discredit it. Unfortunately,
As they should. We're essentially saying that mediocrity is enriching.
Now, this is where she's offended. She's bothered by AAV. What do you say? What do you say, Rico?
I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? What does mediocrity got to do with it?
It has nothing to do with mediocrity. She's talking about the way people are acculturated, the way they've learned the language. Now that's mediocre because the way she's learned, which again, like Dog is pointing out, he's from the UK. Everything that she's saying is mediocre because it's not proper English, according to the people who actually live in England, where English is from.
But see, the speaker on the video said that non-AAV speakers, I guess, react, which they do, old heads and shit, because that's if you didn't speak, non-AAV speakers react to AAV speakers in a disparaging way. And then I think she said, as they should. Did she say as they should? Or
she said as they should. They should make fun of it. They should mock it. That's what she said.
And then what did the mediocrity have to do with it?
She's considering it mediocrity. Huh? She's considering it mediocrity to not learn how to pronounce it the correct way. To not learn standard American
Yeah,
English
to not at least
is
learn it.
mediocrity.
No, but my pushback to her would be Ebonic speakers know how to speak proper fucking English. They've adopted another language for the people in their particular circle.
Mm-hmm.
You speak the way I speak here and at home, I speak differently at work.
Yes.
So at work, I speak plain English. When I get home, I speak profanity. It's just two different audiences. It's not mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm capable of speaking plain English at home.
Man.
I don't want to. I don't have
Yeah.
to. I'm not compelled. I'm comfortable to
Man.
speak in the way I choose at home and around a like social circle. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mediocre. I don't become dumb when I become home. I really don't become. I become a little bit lazy because I'm like, fuck it. I worked hard all day, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna speak the way I'm comfortable. When I go back to work, I gotta tighten up.
Yeah.
That's
I
all
agree.
it is.
Code switching.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's basically what it is, because that's what I do at work. Like, you know what I'm saying, with my, you know what I'm saying, with my job being retail and dealing with customers. So if I got people in a line, it's like I can have a black man, old white woman, young black man, old white man, young white girl. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cold. I'm a different person every time.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
It'll go from how you doing, man? What can I get you? To what up, bro? What you need?
Hey,
You know
dog,
what I'm saying?
The Obama shake.
Right.
that's true, Yella. That is dead ass true.
So you know what I'm saying? I speak as to make the person comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of understand what she's talking about as well, because that can help. That can help. If you are able to kind of, you know, code switching is a thing for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that you have to code switch, but that's just the nature of the beach. Nature of the beast.
And here's the question though. I've never seen an African American that can't speak proper plain English. What? Some black people may have a limited vocabulary, but the vocabulary they have, they can speak in plain English. You know what I'm saying? They just have a limited vocabulary. They don't have a lot of words. I give you that. But it's not like, you know, of that limited vocabulary that they have, it's plain English. Again, they just choose not to. If the most hood person in the world, go with them on a doctor's visit. They don't be sitting there talking to their doctor. No, the doctor be asking them questions in plain English, and they answer back, even though if it's brief, it might be short. It's not in fucking Ebonics. It's in plain English. There are things they have to communicate with. They catch a case and they got to communicate with their lawyer. It's oftentimes in plain English.
Unless you Woody. Ain't that his name?
On YSL.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now that is how you testify in Ebonics.
Yeah.
Boy. That dude is hilarious. The few things I've seen, boy, he has been hilarious. But y'all got my point on that. I am going to pull her down because we already got to the point. Like, y'all understand what I was saying. Like, she's speaking a derivative of actual English. It's American English, which is not actual English. The actual English people speak English. We speak American version of that. So now she's actually coming down on people.
Reaction?
So what?
Did we get Shorty for a reaction?
Nah. We're gonna move to Kamala.
I don't want to see her for a reaction.
I think that was big, but we can go back to it.
Yeah, because I didn't really see her react to too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see why she called it. We didn't really get into why she said mediocre and all that kind of.
Yeah,
got you.
Yeah, I want to hear her out. Oh, you know, let's hear her out.
You want to hear her?
I know this wasn't part of the agenda, but you know.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Let's go. Mrs. She said in the building, hello. We are listening to somebody. We're reacting to a reaction about Ebonics, AAVE. see what this lady got to say. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like people having a switch that they can switch between.
And that's a part of our culture. That's I don't think that's a good thing.
It's not uncommon for this meta-thesis to be corrected in schools.
It should be corrected. I mean, think about that for a second. If you're saying that it is part of our culture to not pronounce words correctly, you're implying that there's no need for someone to improve their vocabulary. And also, just because something is a part of your culture doesn't mean that it's good.
This is particularly common.
So what y'all think about that part?
She's just stupid. I can't. I mean, at this point, I hope this is like a video from 50 years ago. Because at this point,
this is a couple months ago.
If you just don't understand that not just this generation, but the previous 2, 3, or 4 generations have always created a language of their own for people of that generation. You're just being stupid. Yes, I agree. You should have to learn the plain English as well.
The standard of wherever you're at, right. You should learn the standard to speak with everybody else.
But that doesn't stop you from developing an additional language or dialect of the language to be used in other circles. There's nothing.
Hey, dog, drop the link in the chat. Drop the link in the chat, dog, so we can check it out.
So I guess all black people are bilingual. We speak to English. You know? Fuck it. It's just dumb.
Okay, so that was an interesting take though, because I kind of want to lean to Gothic's being correct in this sense, right? She the lady in the video, in the original video, said that this is often corrected in school, like it was a bad thing. Right. And she said, as it should. And I kind of agree, as it should.
Yes.
Because in school, you are supposed to be learning this certain way, the certain thing. Now, it's just like when you get taught how to drive. We all get taught 10 and 2, but guess what you do when you get in that car?
Lean
that motherfucker got a strong 6, maybe 945, one hand at 945.
Yeah, one hand.
I'm
you only drive with one hand.
215,
I'm 6 for 12. Right, yeah.
846.
I don't need but one hand with 2 fingers on the steering wheel.
Right.
And I gotta lay this motherfucking seat back.
Look, depending if you got one of old school, goddamn, you just put your finger right there in the little hole part and just turn them up with one finger.
Yeah. But I do. I'm with you, Yella, 1,000%. I have no objection to the school issue, but she said it's correct. That's fine. But I don't. It sounds like to me she's saying, "Well, once you learn that, you don't need to use nothing else."
Like, right? No, I don't agree.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah, I'm like, Ken, if I want to.
Yeah.
Okay,
for me, my only problem with that specific. Go ahead.
I'll say, can I take a moment of privilege in case you guys didn't mention it today? Can you give a shout out to the beautiful, talented, and wonderful Sister Simone Biles? Because today she won the all-around gold.
We don't give credit to black women around here. Anyway, I'm just messing with you. Shout out to Simone Biles, man. You said she won the all-around?
Yeah, she won they won the team Tuesday night, but she won the individual today. That's the one where she had to back out because she had the twisties in Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
But she came back and they're kicking. I mean, she's definitely kicking ass. She's the strong suit for pulling the team, and she's got an opportunity to win like 3 more. So I just like that. So now I'm pulling for track and field, pull for the brother Noah Lyles. So I do support black men. He should get the gold in the 100. And also Sister Sha'Carri Richardson should get the gold in the women's 100. USA track and field is back. Go.
So she won the gold. She got almost a perfect score. She had a 59.131. That's crazy. I'm not going back and look at that.
That's crazy, bro. She is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Silver
Wow.
Medalist didn't even get a 58. The Silver Medalist got just short of 58. So I mean, her score was almost. That's crazy.
For me, it's really big because when I was growing up, probably until the last seemed like maybe 15 years, it was always them little white bitches, mostly
Dang.
Russia. You know, I never even saw a lot of times. We never even saw black girls being able to compete in gymnastics. I'm sorry, but I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Hey, that shit, Rico. Fuck it.
That Rico Young vernacular English. I love it.
It was always them little white Russians and little white girls, and I was like, man, I'm tired of motherfucking little bowl cut haircuts and shit.
Nah, he ain't lying though. Like he ain't lying. Like
that was a type.
Dominique Dawes was like the anomaly.
Yeah,
she was like the anomaly. Other than that, it was like the little chick who was the little chick who got little white chick who got carried off by her coach.
Mary Lou Retton.
Yeah. She
Oh,
was just their little sweetheart, boy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then when they win, they on the fucking Wheaties boxes. They got TV
Everywhere.
shows, Saturday morning cartoons, all that shit. So even though we got these black medalists, they're not getting the outside the Olympics treatment that the little white girls was getting. Nadia Comaneci and I forgot the other little white girl. I was like, them motherfuckers stayed on TV. They became movie stars.
They did.
So yeah. I'm like, this is good.
Just racial disparities. We can get the medals. That's good. We can go compete. But when we come home, it's like I said, the same way it was a war. When people come home, you still home. You still here.
I just wanted us to take a moment out to acknowledge her success.
Shout out to Simone Biles and Mr. Simone Biles.
Oh,
Jonathan Owen. His name is Jonathan Owen.
Okay,
safety for the Chicago Bears. Okay, safety for the Chicago Bears. Right. We just picked him up.
I just had to do that.
That means she's from Chicago now too, just so we can.
Okay.
We can take.
That's what's up.
We can take credit for her now.
Yeah, and event moves. Yeah, she's a beast. She's the
best
of that. I think she's the most decorated now. Most decorated. Thank you, dog. Appreciate that. Thank you for dropping that back in there. I can check it out after I get off. Slim Living Sideboard. Appreciate it, dog. Yeah, go handle your business. Hope to catch it. If not, I'll catch the replay. I'll check you out. All right, let's get back in and see what she's saying.
When black children are in predominantly white school districts. Although this is valuable knowledge when speaking and learning standard American English.
Oh, what I was going to say, I absolutely agree with y'all on the fact that they should be correcting it to the standard of whatever the English is where they speak. I agree with y'all on what she said. This should be corrected in schools. And the young lady in the video, they did kind of put a 10 on it, like they shouldn't be doing that. Like there's something wrong with that. I absolutely agree with y'all. It should be corrected. But what Gothic said, what Gothic was saying, like she's right about it should be corrected. But beyond that, it's like she can't even have the self-awareness to understand that she's also the person that she's speaking about, because her English isn't the English of somebody else's. Like hers isn't. Like she feels like she has the proper English, but she only has the American standard version of it. So it's like it's weird to see her so dismissive of AAVE when her English isn't the template.
Important for educators to realize that AAVE is its own dialect. Once this is acknowledged, educators can explain to students that their dialect at home is super rich and important, but there are certain rules to follow when speaking standard American English.
Oh, what are the rules?
It's important to note
she just gave you rules and language we didn't even have, like the habitual be, and she sat there and acted like she was writing the rules down. It's people like
she is being super petty.
She's being super petty.
She's like, I pronounce all my letters. I say every letter.
I enunciate.
I use my R's at the end.
I don't use habitual B's. My B's are very moderate and temperate.
More correct.
An apostrophe in the middle of the name.
My bad. You good. She is petty. Even her face, you can just tell she got disdain for this woman and what she's talking about. And it's weird. It's just weird that this is where the arrogance of Americans, like I know when people abroad say Americans are arrogant, this is what they're talking about. Like we feel like our stuff is the stuff. Like she's thinking like, okay, my English is the English. No, it's not. It's so crazy that you're that arrogant and that wrong at the same time. It's embarrassing.
Who dismiss AAVE as an internet phenomenon for young people are actually erasing over 400 years of culture, heritage, and linguistic development.
Again, 400 years doesn't mean anything. Is it correct? If someone is bad at math, do we then say, this is our way of doing math? 2 + 2 = 8. We wouldn't use that.
Math doesn't evolve regionally like language does. It's crazy how it's crazy how off she is on this one.
In any other scenario, so why are we saying this in terms
She
of
just
how
tried
we
to tear in town with that.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. She just tried to tear in town with that. Don't work. It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
Okay, and then adding insult to injury by saying, oh yeah, and by the way, this is Black English. I am Black and I have never spoken in this way. You know why? Because
And I hate when people do that too. Because I've never done it, it's not a thing. Man, that's gotta boy. They do that Common Core mess. Man.
I was taught with standards. Think about what it is you're implying when you say Black English is a part of your culture, it's a part of your history. You're using mediocrity as a part of your identity. No one should be that attached to not pronouncing words correctly. It doesn't matter how long people have been using.
You said what?
What's mediocre about it? I would argue that. I said, what is mediocre about it? I would argue that AAVE, Ebonics, or whatever you want to call it, is actually efficient. So what she described
it may be
mediocre is efficient. You can, if I can say the same thing with less words, why the fuck should I keep using all those words? I created a more efficient way to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read articles and studies about that, where they literally, do you know profanity is viewed that way as well? People sit there and say, it's like, no, profanity, is, and of course people hate profanity, but I read too many articles praising profanity. I'll never stop cursing. I will never stop cursing. Fuck all y'all. I read studies about how it lowers stress a lot. And I'm like, there's science to profanity. I'm not encouraging other people to use it, but I'm like, hey, I'm not fucking bad. It's a more efficient way to communicate as long as the listener understands you.
Yeah. My thing with her is, by her logic, if you're not speaking it the standard way, that means all of the romantic languages, the Spanish, the Italian, the French, because they're not speaking Latin, they're mediocre, and nobody should speak them, and they should not accept it because it's become a part of their culture. Italian should drop Italian. Yep. They should speak Latin. French should drop French. They should speak Latin. The Spanish should drop Spanish. They should speak Latin. All of them, because all of them have accepted mediocrity.
English,
because of their cultural evolution. English itself.
English is born out of Latin. But guess what? We would all be some babbling fucking fools if we had to learn Latin. English is out of Latin. We don't speak Latin, and we speak fucked up English. What is she talking about?
You're mediocre.
Yeah. But she's only concerned about the Black mediocres, not the rest of them.
Right. Old country speaks the truth. Vagina went from 3 syllables to 1. And welcome back, dog. Sorry you're not streaming tonight. Hate cancel streams, but it does happen. Glad to have you back.
This dialect for. There's a difference between proper and improper communication. I think that's fair to say. I use slang sometimes, but I don't expect to use slang during a job interview. And I certainly don't expect to hear slang when my doctor is giving me a diagnosis. I'm gonna keep it 100. I've been peeping your medical records, and it appears that your cancer has no chill.
Now you see how she switched it from
Okay,
different
Doc.
speech
So what are we
patterns.
gonna do about this shit then?
Right.
Like, yeah, okay, Doc.
Yeah, because I
Since
understood everything she
Since
said.
my cancer wilding,
Mhm.
fuck we gonna do about this shit?
So by her notion, if the doctor's bilingual
Nah, you
and
good, IG.
a non-English speaker walked into her office, the doctor shouldn't switch up to Spanish.
Right,
No,
By her logic, the
right.
doctor
That's
but the
how
issue
logic works.
is
Yep.
she's
speak
changed. She's
English.
changed.
Yes. Go ahead.
What's up? And they IG appreciate y'all. No, we're still not even to the main subject. I had a diversion, but
we'll get to it in a
she
second.
is actually confusing speech patterns with a different language because slang is different language. You're changing so instead of saying I want that or something like this is something I like, this is cool or this is lit, like that's slang. But
Right.
the lady
So
was
she
talking
went-
about like past and present tense. She was talking about like the articles, dropping articles and changing tenses. That's totally different than using slang.
She changed the word honest to 100.
Mhm.
Instead of saying I'm gonna keep it 100, you would have said I have to be honest.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So she used a whole nother word to replace a word, and they're not even similar. They have two different. 100 has a total different definition than honest. But we know that the slang word for honest we can replace it with 100. We just know that in the AAVE.
Yeah.
She's just being an asshole.
Yeah, she is. Because again, like if the person instead of saying I'm going to be honest, like I'm gonna be honest, that's not slang. You know what I'm saying? That's not a whole slang language. That's not vernacular. You're just like using the words improperly. Like you're dropping articles or whatever. You're doing things like that. You're modifying the speech, like you said, to make it more efficient. That would be that'd be vernacular, different vernacular. But that's not slang. It's like she her disdain for it. She's actually changing the argument. Like she equated it to math, which I know somebody said Common Core, but Common Core is a different type of math. Like mathematics, like the simple mathematics did not evolve over time. Like 2 + 2 did not evolve into 7. Like somebody developed a different math system that's different, but an evolution of the same system, that's what she's changing the entire thing. Now she's turning it into slang, which is something totally different than like dropping an article or not including the subject in the sentence. That's not necessarily slang. That's like you said, the vernacular, the diction or something like that, syntax. Like something like that. It's one of those words, but again, I skipped every English class after the 8th grade, so I'm not the guy.
I understand that you're probably big mad about
Except
this,
for the one in college. I went to the one in college.
Sometimes it do be like that. As a matter of fact, I used to work at a call center, the same call center that I met my husband at.
Now, instead of saying it do be like that, she's like, it is what it is. That would have been slang, but we would have still understood.
Yes.
Right.
My kids use 100 to mean certainly. Yep. I don't get it, but go with it because that's what's up. I like it.
Right. Why fight it? I ain't fighting.
I don't get it.
They're not going to change.
But see, it's just a short way of saying I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Yes, that's it.
But then I could also be like, man, look, I'm gonna keep it a bean.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Or keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Keep it
a thou wow.
Yes.
Keep it a thousand.
Yeah.
Keep it a
that could
brand.
evolve. Yeah.
And how do we pick up on it? In conversations of people who speak that language. Because I didn't know what they all were. I did not. It's no different than learning all of these what do they call them? In case you didn't know, or
right.
All of that, not safe for work. And it took me forever to pick up on that shit. I was like, what the fuck does this mean? NSF. It took me forever. What is that? Those are actual words, but the abbreviations of the words, I still don't know all of them.
Only took me a couple. Only took me about 1 or 2 occurrences before I learned what NSFW was.
Well, I'm saying that was one of the easy ones, but you got it's a ton of them though.
But yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. There's too many, and they're constantly coming. Always
every
week.
AAVE apparently.
Yeah, so I was IKR. I know, right? I got all the Christmas early. Like, get the fuck out of here. I learned those early. But
he learned all the cuss. He learned all the cuss.
Because it lowers your blood pressure.
GTA
as health benefits.
GTFOH.
Well, typically my cues was the context of the message. Yes. So in the chat, when I saw the context of the message, I'd see it again. I see it again. Say, oh, and that's the same. That's just a different. It's not AAVE, but it's just still learning a different way of people communicate. And why do they do it? It's efficient. It's short. There's so many characters. I guess the shit was born out of Twitter, where you only had 140 characters. People had to learn how to evolve their means of communication. And if you really want to know, what the fuck do you think Morse code is? Dot dash dot dash sounds, and they tap out words. They don't tap out every letter always either. So the woman's crazy.
I'm gonna start talking in Morse code. Dot dash.
Oh, you're gonna actually phonetically say the dash and the
dash dot.
That's even worse.
Yella be
tripping.
Yella be tripping.
Yella be tripping.
He bees all them dashes and dashes.
He definitely habitual.
He always dashing and dotting a nigga around here.
Man, dashing and dotting. See, they always dashing. He always leaving, and dotting would be hitting somebody. He always dashing and dotting, running and hitting and running.
See? Yeah.
And right before he got hired, they hired a guy who used to speak using black English. And long story short, he didn't last a month. They fired him. Okay. So what does that tell you? The way that he was speaking wasn't professional. As I just heard, they hired a guy who used to speak using and right before
I gotta hear this story.
Like that.
I gotta hear this story. She about to.
As a matter of fact, I used to work at a call center, the same call center that I met my husband at. And right before he got hired, they hired a guy who used to speak using black English. And long story short, he didn't last a month. They fired him. Okay. So what does that tell you? The way that he was speaking wasn't professional. And as I just showed you with this fake doctor's office scenario, which by the way, you can thank ChatGPT for putting that script together. In certain circumstances, it's not proper to speak in that way.
You need a ChatGPT to put that together for you? But yeah, boy, she need to talk to more black folks, boy.
I have to question the black coworker story. I call bullshit on it, because then I have to wonder, okay, you worked at this call center and they fired a guy for speaking black English. What the fuck was he speaking during the interview?
Right. And if they fired him because of his speech pattern,
right,
she's saying that automatically makes it right. So that means the people that are fired because of their hair.
Yeah.
Like, does that make it, because we had the whole Crown Act, because black people typically have different hair textures and hairstyles, and it's like they might get fired for that. And so she's one of those people, and I don't like these people either. Because somebody made a rule, that person is automatically right. So she's like one of those moral authority people. Somebody made a rule, so this must be the right thing to do. That's
and what I don't understand is, I'm like, wait a minute, and in particular, what I find her story so unbelievable, she said the job was at a call center. And call centers are very controlled and very scripted. And they typically, you have to do a test where, it's made up.
You do. You get on the phone. You get on the phone with somebody listening.
I don't believe this shit.
OG Patrice.
Call that shit out, Rico. What up, TJ?
Without seveul times. You're inside. You make several calls that are not going to a customer before they send you to the
job, before they hire your ass.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, why
That's
would they
crazy.
hire you and not hear how you speak regularly and for an
Mhm.
extended period of time? No, I'm not putting you on the
Yeah.
phone. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He probably got fired for something else, but she assumed that that's why he got fired because
Right.
that's what she didn't like about him. Because
Okay.
she has a thing about black vernacular. She has a thing about this.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was something else, but it was like, nah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bug up her ass.
I mean, because a call center, you can get fired for so many different things. You say something offensive, you're not meeting the quota, you're not making enough.
Yeah.
You can, and that's if it's sales. I mean, service is a whole different thing. Like, who knows?
And I would say that's the biggest reason is not enough calls. It's the quantity because they sweatshop the shit out of you. But it's a script.
And what I was about to say, I ain't trying to be funny, but everybody I know that speaks black vernacular, when they're on those calls, they typically have the longest calls, and they want you to turn calls over.
Yeah,
like every call center I've been in, they want you to turn calls over. But everybody that speaks cool and cozy and familiar, they typically have more conversational styles, and people will keep them on the phone longer, and they'll just be sitting there going back and forth. And it's like they want you to turn them calls over. Welcome back, Zuri. So he could have got fired from that. It could have been any number of things. But like Snack said, are you HR? Are you HR? How does she know?
Yeah.
She just guessed.
No.
Let's wrap this. I think we're like another. She probably lied.
Honestly, I don't care if anyone
that was a
gets
good
mad
call
at
out,
me for saying
Rico.
this, but
Hey, Gothics does not like black people.
But AAVE or Black English, to me, it reeks of equity, equitable outcomes. If
Hey,
that's
and
how
it's
you
funny
want to
though.
talk,
Hold on, pause. And it's funny because her name is spelt in a
Incorrect.
Ebonics kind of way.
Right, it is.
Another good call out.
It is.
Another good call out.
Great call out.
Her name is spelled in an Ebonics kind of way.
Yeah, you judgmental bitch.
English.
Right. You judgmental bitch. I swear. Really?
No.
Yeah.
Not. I ain't even think about that, bro. That is crazy.
I just saw. Yes. Good call out.
That
is excellent.
God. Oh God!
Girl.
You better learn English the way it's supposed to be written. It's supposed to be Gothics.
Somebody need to tell you. You better learn how to spell.
Right. That's
spelled
crazy.
Ebonics.
That was
Right.
It's spelled in Ebonics. That's wild. Okay.
Yes.
Got her.
Because I swear it will replace the C or the sound with the X or S with a Z real quick if we write something.
Yeah. To stand out, to look unique. And that's why she did it. That's why she did it.
Exactly.
But you knew it was fucking wrong. You knew you wasn't following the rules. You knew you should. All that shit you said about the language applies to your fucking spelling. All of it.
Yeah.
That ain't English, Spanish, French, nothing. That's not in any language. It's Gothic spelled that way.
No self-awareness, bro. No self-awareness.
Oh man.
That's crazy. Gotta love him. Let's see if I can get this going back. Come on now. Come on. Let's add.
but don't try to say that it is just as valid as plain English, which, by the way, is
now I can't
stupid to
unsee
even
it.
say. It's just English.
Can't even
You
stop
speak
focusing
it
on it.
correctly or not. And just for the record, I acknowledge that some people speak different forms of English depending on their geographical location. You have British English, American English, Canadian English, Australian English, Black English. I don't know what that means. African American vernacular. Yeah, my mother came from Africa. Doesn't speak this way. Neither does my aunt or my grandma or literally.
Oh God!
So
now that was dumb.
So what she's saying is she can understand Australian English as being valid, even though it's different than the English she speaks. However, it's still valid, but AAVE isn't valid because it's different than the English she speaks. They're both different They're both English. They're both spoken in a different dialect than the English you speak. However, you find one valid and the other invalid. And what is the glaring difference between all of those other Englishes? Canadian, Australian.
Right.
Yeah, they've all been colonized.
What? The absence of
The
black. Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah,
hue.
she's got a colonized mind. That's a colonized thinking.
Yeah.
So all
Right,
of the imperial, colonial, all of the nations, all of the national authorities, she recognizes those. But groups of people like ethnicities and cultures within, she's dismissed them the entire time. So she doesn't recognize anybody except the colonizer.
And when I hear, I'll be honest, when I hear British English, I don't understand what the fuck they saying half the time. Now they might be, and a lot of it has to do with the governor. You know what I'm saying? Hi, the governor.
Yeah, governor.
Like, what?
Hello, governor.
Went to a party.
You want a bottle of water?
Come to me flat, mate.
I love them, but I'm like, I don't know what the fuck.
All apples and pears, yeah.
Yeah. So,
crack your toes, bruv. Crack your toes.
So it's and even in England, the urban areas speak a broken British English. There's like multiple. Dog can probably tell you it's not all black people. It's multiple English England spoken there, but she'll acknowledge all of that because of its location, but won't acknowledge it here. I'm like, they got the same thing we got. Same thing in Canada. They have the same thing. There are Canadians who don't. Well, first of all, Canada speaks English and French, so they have people who speak broken French and broken English.
They couldn't even pick.
Urbanized.
That's double mediocre. That's super mediocre. They couldn't even decide on a language or dialect. That's terrible. Indecisive.
Anyone else in my family who came from Africa. Use slang if you want to. I do. But I also acknowledge that slang is not the proper way to communicate. Honestly, I think we should be encouraging people to improve as opposed to saying, you don't need to change. You're fine just the way that you are. I could not imagine claiming mediocrity and using that as my identity.
Rico's triggered.
Nope, never. But if you want to keep doing that, then that's totally fine. But don't say it's a black thing. Anyways, that's all I had to say about this stupid topic.
Yeah, but that's all she had to say.
But as much as it is a black thing, you know, as much as she hates the fact that it is that, and she fails to also realize in America, in historical context, we have been speaking in coded language for years, because back in the day, we couldn't say, to be able to communicate publicly, to be able to talk in the company, a mixed company around white people. So we were speaking coded language that we knew white people didn't know what certain phrases and words meant. So, you know, for her to sit there, and say it is black, whether you like it or not, Gothic spelled with a fucking X. It's just dumb. And for her to be so hurt by it is insulting.
Yeah. That's why that's like the thing of this whole stream. These are the people that insulted me when I saw them this week, and I'm like, oh my god, she made me want to throw up in my mouth because it was just so like her botheredness about how black people speak it to themselves most of the time was like, I was like, wow, okay.
But you know, that's something that always.
I'm going to say it.
What's that?
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Go ahead and let it out. It'll make you feel better.
Nope. It's not a cuss word. It's not a cuss word. I was nope, because Yella, you already tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it too. But
you can
that's
say
what when I was saying that her botheredness let me know that she was not like us. Like I knew when I heard her talking, but I was like, I know we're tired of that. But it was like,
but
that's all I heard.
Does that not bother you? I know it's bothered me for a long time, even before we get into this political season and everything else, and I see it again on hyperdrive. It bothers me when I see black people be obsessively critical of black people. I want us to criticize us. I want us to take a critical thought and look at us. But I was like, God damn, we criticize us about things that we would never think about criticizing others. And even to the point that if someone did try to criticize others for the very thing that you criticize the black person for, you'll take umbrage. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought that was a valid criticism.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because I'll
like that lady.
I'll tell you an example. Before we get into the political side, I think what was it? The BET Awards.
Oh,
and all the criticism about things that people wore and all that, right? Yeah. So I'm just using that as an example. So I see black person after black, look at what they wear. This don't make, and the performance and everything. And I'm like, well, damn, I watch some of these white music shows. They don't look wildly much different than the people who wear outfits. Hell, what I see at the Met Gala looks like this. So it's a fair critique because I don't like it either. But I don't hear them criticizing it when people wear a dildo to the Met. They'll call that avant-garde. Seriously.
And
so I'm like, why is avant-garde at the Met or at the VMAs, but it's trashy at BMT? I think it is trashy. But goddamn it, it's got to be trashy everywhere, right?
Here's the thing. What you're hearing though, we do this. I do this. I notice everybody, especially in this space, does this. We'll say, hey, these other group of people don't do this thing, but we actually don't listen to them enough to know whether they do this thing or not. The people I've listened to the Met Gala got trashed. When Kim Kardashian wore that dress that looked like water was dripping off of her, it got criticized. They're all over the Paris Olympics opening ceremony because they did something that people thought people thought was making fun of it. Because when I saw it, the first thing I thought was, are they doing the Last Supper? The person explained, and they were doing because. But they said because the person had a crown that looked like the Jesus halo.
Yeah. I know that is. It took somebody
and they did the slow motion pose.
What they were doing. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I knew it just looked like the pose. They had plausible deniability because what they said they were trying to do something like Bacchanalia, which is some kind of Greek festival, like I guess like the Roman Saturnalia. But like they said, it was symbolic of that, which gives plausible deniability. I still think it was the Last Supper, but I also know that a lot of Christian stuff that's in the Bible came from Greek influence and things in other cultures around them. So like Saturnalia and Christmas are basically synonymous. So their Bacchanalia and the Last Supper might be synonymous too. So I mean, I don't detach everything and make everything an insult. So I'm with you, but I say that everybody doesn't criticize it in your earshot. But I guarantee you, everything that you mentioned got criticized by somebody. You just weren't listening to it. And that's cool. We just can't say that nobody criticizes it. Somebody does.
I just think maybe, like I said, because I'll say this, in this space that we operate in, right? So let's just keep it in the space that we operate in, this black YouTube space. I can go through stream after stream and we see black people criticize BET, but they don't criticize those other spaces. So you're right. There's somebody in another space, but I'm focusing, I guess, for this conversation about us in this space. And I'm like, it's a fair criticism. It is a very fair criticism. Why don't y'all have criticism for the other things that come across our, like you said, that Olympic shit came across the black space, but I don't see nobody criticizing that much. I saw it a few places. I was like, oh shit. But I don't see a lot of it.
But I will say,
see a little.
But the BET Awards, though, specifically, like there are a lot of people that celebrated it because it's like it was very like sexual free, sexual permissiveness, pro women. A lot of people like it. A lot of people like the ratchet. A lot of people like sexy red, but a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people still have, and this is where it gets hard. This is why the last lady. This is her problem too. There's a very thin line, and it's really thin line, and it's hard to notice between like respectability politics and trying to cause somebody to be their better self because they're going to look alike. So somebody telling you to pull your pants up might be so you don't look a fool, so that you get the job. It might be to call you to a better self, but it might also be like you don't want the white folks looking at you, looking down on you. We don't know what their intent is when they say the thing. So a lot of times people will cast it off as respectability politics, but a lot of times people just want to call you the better, and it's hard to know. Like that last lady, she thinks she's calling black people the better. That's why she kept using the term mediocrity. There's no settle on mediocrity. I'm never going to say that's part of the culture. She thinks she's calling people the better, but she's actually just calling them too different. There's no better when it comes to which language it is, as far as the person, if they understand you, if the communication was effective, that's better. So that's the most important thing with communication. Was it effective? Was it understood? That's what better means in communication. But she couldn't translate that. She's put authority as better. She's like a authority as morality type person. Well, it's the law, so weed must be bad because they've banned weed. Or this must. So she's that person, which is why she cited all the nations as they're allowed to have different languages and dialects. But people, no, because you have no authority. So there's people that have that mentality that authority is right.
But what's even worse, black people aren't. Because guess what? Just like we got our Ebonics, they also have a hillbilly dialect. Go to Appalachia.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what I'm saying? There are other dialects of English other than black dialect. There are multiple dialects of English in America. If you went to Western Kentucky, West Virginia, you wouldn't know what the fuck they saying. You would, and they ain't black. They are not black, but they're speaking in English that they understand, and it's probably 10 times worse than Ebonics or AAVE. But she ain't mentioning that.
It might be. I mean, but that's also, she doesn't identify with those people either. She's criticizing the group that she feels she's a part of, which is kind of what we're doing, which is why I criticized her. And then I'm getting ready to criticize Kamala. We criticize the people that we feel most kinship with or connection to.
That's true.
It's like we criticize those closest to it. I'm not about to start criticizing what they're doing in Ukraine. Like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know those people. I barely care. So the only thing I care about is when America's sending them money to do whatever they do. I'm going to criticize my country that I'm in that's sending money to them and telling me, never mind. I'm not going to go down that path. We're going to actually go to what I was getting ready to mention.
Yes, sir.
We're going to play this clip. It is 2 minutes long. It is Kamala. I'm going to play a series of clips, but we're going to talk about them. But I'm going to let them, I added it to it instead of like playing pause. Maybe I should. Maybe we should do the play and pause. Let me bring it up. I'm going to bring it up. Give me a second. It's 2 minutes long. I could let me know if you want me to
hold out fire. We can hold out fire for 2 minutes.
All right, cool. I'm gonna let it play.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
So here is my thing. No, she said she's not going to sit up here and say she's going to do something specifically for Black people. That's what she was running for the presidency that failed to Joe Biden. How does that land on you guys? I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people, because when I heard that, I'm like, okay, that's not somebody I can vote for. I'm a Black person. I'm a demographic. I'm a part of a group of people that can be identified by certain characteristics. And she's saying this group of people, this group specifically, I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything specific for this group that I'm a part of. So for me, that's a slap in the face. That's an insult. Oh, okay. You have the power to help groups of people. And as people that help promote agendas, that talk to legislators and help get things moved, they try to talk to legislators to push certain legislation. Why don't you introduce this? It's going to help this group of people, this region, this service that we're trying to provide. They have legislation that's targeted, but your group specifically, I'm not going to help. So when you hear that, it's more poor white people because they have more numbers. We're no more than 15% of the population. But what do you guys think about that when you hear that?
It was Thursday for me. It was just a regular day. I mean,
Okay.
to be honest with you, I don't have no illusions that, hell, we could vote the next 5 presidents could all be Black. They're not going to do anything specifically for Black people. They just aren't. We're only 13% of the population. I'm under no illusion. Now, I would hope they would offer protections for Black people, but I don't see, and I don't know anywhere of any minority group. I've not seen a lot of policies tailored specifically for any minority group. Truly, all policies are for the majority, which is white people. I don't give a damn. She can lose. Whoever win ain't gonna do shit for what Black people. You know, so for me, my now to be honest with you, what I didn't like about her was I like, fuck that tax break. I want a check. Bitch, she asked you about reparations. I want a check. And the reason why I feel that way, because you tailoring it for people that are poor, and I'm very sympathetic for the poor, but I'm not poor, and I still deserve a motherfucking check because I'm the descendants of slavery. Reparation is a reparative thing to the descendants of the people that harm was done. And all of us ain't poor no more. So I don't want it restricted. And then it would benefit people who are not descendants of slavery. Like you said, poor whites, poor Hispanics, poor, some were, but most of them weren't. Hispanic, Native American. If it reparations, which was tailored like it was for the little hat people, for the Japanese people in internment, that was reparative. That's what reparations is to repair something that was done. I want a motherfucking check to Black people. I don't give a fuck about your policy. Cut the check. Cut the check. Do no harm, because at the end of the day, they fucking all of us. So again, I think that was a really, because she didn't answer the fucking question about reparations.
Reparations itself.
Am I absolutely surprised with that answer? That's the standard politician answer for everything. And they always say, oh, because I gotta be the president. And it's true, you do gotta be the president for everybody. You can't come out of the gate doing policies for a specific. I would like to see. I wouldn't even give a fuck if we get it. Tell me you're going to explore reparations, because I know that the power of individual. So that's disappointing. But as far as is that something that no, but that's the same answer we would get from the other side too. So the other side ain't gonna promise us anything unless y'all heard something I haven't heard.
Yeah, Trump has actually said there are things that he would do for Black people. You know, he's going to help the Black jobs. He's going to bring the Black jobs. The Black jobs.
Reparations.
Black jobs.
Trump cutting checks for reparations.
No, he's going to get Black jobs. Black business.
this is what I'm saying, Arshawn. We got to be honest. The biggest question in the black community currently is reparations, right? So
Is it?
well, as far I believe so. I believe universally, almost. I believe, I could be wrong. I believe a wide range of black special interest groups would wish for reparations, even if it's not their core issue. I haven't heard any.
Okay. Yeah. The way you said it there, I could go. Yeah. A lot of people will wish for it, but that's not their core issue, right?
That's not their core issue.
Yeah.
So if
it's a wish list,
right? It's a wish. So if that's the question that we put to one side, we have to put that question to the other side so we get an answer from both sides. How the fuck do y'all feel about cutting our check? That's all.
Now I get you, but here's where I would disagree with you is asking the same question to two different sides. Because one side we kind of know where they stand. They would never do reparations. It's just something they would never do. So asking somebody to do something that they said that they would never do is actually stupid on you. Like it would be stupid for me to ask you to produce milk from your body. Right. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's something you'll never do.
So we're saying we're not getting reparations from the other side no matter what. They already said fuck you. All right. So now I'm asking this side.
Who says they're for you? You heard her. Right. You heard her. She listed all these disparities and health and education and housing. We have all these things that black people specifically have problems with. But I ain't about to sit here and say I'm about to do something specifically for black people.
Yeah, right.
So, but my question is,
I ain't gonna do shit about it.
My question is, right. This is my question. This is my dilemma. If I already said that the side on the left said fuck me. Now I'm gonna go to the side on the right that I think, because they've been blowing smoke up my ass. Now they done told me fuck me. What do we do?
You got to find another side. You got to make another
there's
side.
Only two sides. That's the
problem. But that's a limit of imagination to think that we have to support what's available. Like if you walk into a store and all they have are sugary sodas, and you don't want to have throat cancer because of the carbonation, you can actually walk back out of the store. Like you could go to a water hose. You could find a different locate. Like there are plenty of other options that we could run our own parties, because there have been black political parties in the past. Like we could do things differently. We don't have to just say these are my choices. I have to pick from these two.
But that's what I right, there you go. So that's wonderful. So again, that's why I said of course, in this climate, we're kind of in America, we've been force-fed to believe it's Republican, Democrat, or the couch. We got three choices.
Right.
I can't remember the last time any of those choices mattered. That's it. You got Republican, Democrat, or the fucking couch. Now, if Republicans say fuck you, if Democrats say fuck you, your only other choice is the couch, or even if you vote for one of those third parties, that's the same thing. The results of that is probably going to be the same thing. I'm not going to tell you to stay home, go out, vote for Marianne Williams, whatever the fuck you want, but you stayed home. So that's all I'm saying is when I hear that, that's the reality that I'm living in, is that for that question, only around reparations.
Yeah.
He basically said, fuck me. Like you said, I believe. I say ask the other side anyway. Maybe they'll surprise your ass. I don't.
And you can still ask them. You can ask them. So. But again, what's his face? When Ice Cube took a plan to them, he got clowned by other black people. Like you talked about the criticism of black people. When he just proposed the plan, and I don't even think Trump was there. He said he talked to two assistants. He got trashed just for speaking with the opposite side.
Right.
And like he said, if I could get something tangible from anybody, I'm going to get it. If it benefits me and our people, why wouldn't you go to them to have the conversation? It doesn't hurt to have the conversation, but we're so entranced.
Right. Which was fine. He had the conversation, but the conversation turned out the same way. Like you tell me now, in this instant, he went over there and they said, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but I don't blame him for having the which is what I was proposing.
Have a conversation.
If we're asking her, we have to ask him. That's my thing. I'm saying let's do the Ice Cube thing, but I agree with you. You're gonna get the same answer.
You'll get the same answer. But the person that says I'm willing to help you and I see all your problems, that person should be willing to address them. Now, this is what I wanted to counter with you, Rico, because you said something I absolutely disagree with, because there are a lot of baked in, there are a lot of lies that we've accepted. And I heard you repeat one of them. And I'm trying to recall it because we went a couple different places. But it was something to the
sit on the couch, 3 parties only. If you
it was before that. It was before that. It was about what they can do. Dang, I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember it at some point.
I'm trying to think. What is your other choice? Because we basically have a 2-party system in America. It's Republican, Democrats, so sit your ass on the couch.
Yeah, but it was a point you made before that. I wish I remembered it. It was a point that you made before that, but it was about the what they can do, because like they can't. No, that's what it was. They can't say that they're going to do something. They don't legislate specifically for groups. That's what it was. They don't legislate specifically for groups, but they do. And you actually mentioned some of it yourself. You talked about the reparations for the internment camp. They've done reparations since. Even long after, they sent some reparations to Jewish people who had suffered in the Holocaust. And this isn't even Germany. Like they've done reparations and things for different types of Asian groups, for Native American groups. They've done legislation for groups. And I would even say where we mess up is thinking that black is a separate thing from the rest of the demographics, because they do separate identities other than race, because we know right now Joe Biden ran on education. I'm going to refund or the student loan forgiveness. Everybody in this country was not a college student, nor did every college student take out student loan debt. They isolated and targeted a demographic for legislation to help. Everybody's not a farmer, but they are chronically having farm bills to help farmers and subsidize their crops. And even when they even pay them sometimes to not plant. And in some of the farm bills, they've paid their uncles and nephews of people for the farms. Like people that aren't even working on the farms, they've given them extra money for family members. So they target different demographics all throughout the country. They target banks. They target DACA, which are the children of immigrants that are born in the United States. Like they used to call them anchor babies. They target all different types of demographics of people in the United States. But for whatever reason, again, women with like Roe v. Wade and things about reproductive rights, things for women, which is again another demographic of people. Why is it that you can sit there as a representative, like you said, you have to govern for all Americans, which Black Americans are a part of all Americans? How can you say this one specific demographic is null and void, never going to get any legislation, when you can legislate for all these other groups and their demographics? That's not okay. Race is not the only thing that they divide on. They do it based on income, based on child, like the earned income tax credit. I'm single. I've never had a kid. Why don't I get a tax credit?
So let me ask you a question.
So I mean, just real quick. If they can segment all these demographics, you can never turn around and say you're the one demographic I will not legislate for, because they do it for everybody else.
But my question is, so are we saying, because I want to be clear, because I did hear something yesterday that I'm glad I remembered before I came in today. Are we saying that they've never done anything specific for Black people?
I'm willing to say that, because you can go back to the Voting Rights Act, and you can go back to you can go back to the Voting Rights Act, and you can go back to the 13th Amendment, and what they don't say is Black. Like they'll abolish slavery.
Right.
See what I'm saying? They'll abolish slavery.
But is that not disingenuous or dishonest to say that those things were not for Black people, when we know at its core, it absolutely was? Because if it was not for the disenfranchisement of Black people at that time, the bill would have never came up. I understand other people piggybacked on it, and I understand other people, but that's what a lot of bills. Other groups will find a way to piggyback on your shit. There are groups that like someone put in here the Asian crime bill.
API, Asian American Pacific Islander.
But there were also other groups that piggyback on that shit. We have to understand that oftentimes bills are introduced. It has a core message and a core constituency, but other constituencies piggyback onto it to get something for their group out of it.
If
Now,
they can get a technicality, you're absolutely right. But Rico, I want you to address this point.
Okay.
Tell me then, why can we explicitly say anti-Semitism in a law? How can we explicitly say Asian American Pacific Islander in the law, but in no law can you put Black American?
Right.
Tell me why there's no law that specifically speaks to our group when you can specifically speak to every other demographic. That's what I want to see if you can answer me that piece right there.
Well, I will say on that piece, I cannot think of and I don't even know if let's say this. I don't even know if I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna take a minute to look it up. I don't think most bills are called by the names that we call them by. So, for example, the Obamacare is not a bill called Obamacare. It's called the American
Affordable Care Act.
Right, exactly. I don't know if the anti-Asian bill is called the anti-Asian bill. It could be. I'm not saying it's not. So don't.
I'm looking it up. Don't worry about it.
Please do, because I know oftentimes these bills are.
Because you're right.
Right, because and my thing is, so we're saying we're not, because you're asking me about naming a bill specified to our group, and I'm saying most bills are not named to specify for a group, even though the content of the bill may be for a specific group. The reason why I asked you about anything recently, so I'm like, all I've ever heard anybody for the last couple of years screaming and beating their fucking chest about is the HBCU bill. Well, who the fuck was that for?
Got you.
Signed under Donald Trump. Who the fuck was that for? They won't shut up about it. Is that not for Black people? Is that, I mean, HBCUs. And then, I'm also not mistaken, I think recently, they don't call it Black. I think they signed an anti-lynching bill. Who the fuck is that for? Now, I'm pretty sure in both of those bills, all kinds of bullshit and other people piggybacked on it and got shit out of it. And I'm not trying to give praise. I just want us to be educated in how we discuss it, because again, I can't think of any bill where they put Black in it. But before I say, oh, the Asian bill, like, we call it that. We coin these things that necessarily the people who are the authors of the bills and the legislators and the writers of the bill, they don't coin it that. And if you read deep enough into the bill, it's all sorts of other groups that benefit from this shit. That's my point. Now, am I totally crazy?
Let me let you know. You already know. What's up, Conscious TV? Appreciate you. So real quick,
no,
so the image,
not an HBCU. Stop it.
Nova's ignorant. He's being stupid. So HR 55 was the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. This bill makes lynching a federal hate crime. Specifically, the bill imposes criminal penalties, a fine, a prison term of up to 30 years, or both, on an individual who conspires to commit a hate crime, offenses that result in death or seriously bodily injury, or that includes kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill. So that's the Emmett Till. Now, we know Emmett Till was Black, but again, his name's in the act. But in that body, in that text, it doesn't say anything about
Black people. I got
okay, now listen. Now let me go. Hold up, Rico, because you asked me about another one. You asked me about the anti-lynching bill. It's not called. It's actually the S937 is the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. But listen to how this starts off.
Okay. That's the anti-Asian bill.
Right. So this is to facilitate the expedited review of COVID-19 hate crimes and for other purposes.
Okay.
But when we get to the very first section, section 1, Congress finds the following. Following the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, there has been a dramatic increase in hate crimes and violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That's in the very first part.
I got
Number
you, sir.
2, according to a recent report, there were nearly 3,000 reported cases of anti-Asian discrimination and incidents related to COVID-19 between March 19. Number 3, during this time, race has been cited as the primary reason. The United States condemns and denounces any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment in any form. That's very unequivocal. That's very direct, very explicit. Number four, roughly 36% of these incidents took place at a business, and more than 2 million Asian American businesses have contributed to the diverse fabric of American life. Number five, then there's number six. Number six actually names A through H, several different Asians that were in incidents. So I'm just saying, when we get to bills and laws that govern other demographics, even if it's not racial, they're very explicit on who and what they're catering to. The ones that indirectly, because that's what Kamala did during the clip that we played. During the clip, Kamala played the indirect thing. She said, no, it's poverty it impacts 60% of black households. So if we throw money at the poverty, it's directly going to help black people. No, it's indirectly going to help black people. That's the rising tide lifts all boats philosophy. But when you get to black people, they'll say we abolish slavery. We're going to protect voting rights. Every citizen has the right to vote, and it cannot be denied based on race, religion, sex. So all the language when it comes to black things that we say are ours are very vague and indeterminate as to who it is. We know who it's talking about because it was like they abolished slavery. We were the ones that were slaves. The Voting Rights Act, we were the ones that didn't have our voting rights. We know, but that's indirect. We have to have a secondary set of knowledge to understand that it's for us.
Right.
That's what I mean.
And I can accept that. I just didn't want to say that. I didn't want us to be.
I get you.
Saying that there
you want
was
to be clear.
And I didn't want it to be like, oh, there's an absence of anything. I'm like, no, because of the Emmett Till bill, that's not an absence of it. It's a very indirect. The same thing, like I said, with the HBCU bill. You know, I'm like, I mean, these are policies. What they're not going to say they're for black people. Come on, we know what fucking country we live in.
But that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's the thing.
That's a problem.
We have to contend with that and see all black people carry that knowledge, and we act on that knowledge, never speaking it. So like we have everybody dances around that fact that everybody that's running for president has to exclude black people from specific redress. Yes. Why?
Because
that's weird because Obama.
But guess what? But Arshawn, we're also in this space where motherfuckers say white supremacy doesn't exist. And black men believe that they can rise above it. And nothing's holding you back. So y'all got to make up your fucking mind. Are we in a racist country or not? Because 5 minutes from now, I hear a bunch of black men that say, white supremacy doesn't exist. Nothing's holding you back. You're a victim. Victims Olympics. So I'm like, fuck it. That's the problem. You can't deny the very thing that's holding you back and then yet cry about why somebody won't do something for you. First, admit that the problem exists. In this space, we're fighting people who look like us to even acknowledge that it exists.
Yes. I'm with you. And I didn't mean to freeze you out, Yella. We want to get that point ironed out. But what you got, Playboy?
I don't know. I was just listening.
Trump 2024.
I kind of zoned out for a minute. I was over there smoking.
Yeah, I never froze you out.
So, what were we talking about again?
Trump 2024. Now we're talking about any specific bills tailored. Why can't we have bills? Which we do have a couple. They won't mention our name.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that part.
We have them tailored for us like they're tailored specifically for other groups. Even if it is a black bill, they make it sound more ambiguous and easier to have riders for other groups. And for other groups, they make them seem more specific.
Yeah, that is just what it is, because they definitely came out with that bill when they was jacking them Asians up though, like for real. Folks was out here wild.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? But
they was.
That is just the nature of things, right? I guess you want to be a president for everybody, but that's the unfortunate part about being in politics. You got to try to please everybody. We gotta try to make them feel good. And plus, shit, man, look, me personally, I would say whatever the fuck needed to get in the office, and I wouldn't do shit when I get in there.
See.
I ain't never seen the president get impeached for not keeping a promise.
Nope.
Not one. I tell you, hell yeah, black folks, y'all finna get everything. As soon as I get in, I say what? You talking about say what? I ain't say that shit. They gonna play that video just like a Kamala sitting right there. They gonna play that video. It's gonna be me saying the same shit. I'm like,
yeah,
that wasn't me. AI.
Dog, give me 10 minutes. I'm on my second gym. I guarantee you I got 2 or 3 more meaningless rants.
Because when it came to the anti-lynching bill, it took over 100 years for them to pass the anti-lynching bill.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it suck, y'all. I mean, but it's shit. That's the country we live in.
But all that was just so we could.
How are we surprised?
No, it's not about being surprised. It's just about actually speaking it out loud. Because what everybody does, we talk around it, and we never mention that part. The fact that it's very upfront that nobody is allowed to do anything explicitly for black people, and nobody's allowed to say that. Like, so black people go around pushing Democrat, vote blue, no matter who. We push that knowing that they expressly can never say they're doing anything for us. And if they do something for us, they have to hide it. That's weird. That's weird.
But this is the other part, though, Arshawn. You're right. I will agree 1,000% with that message being on the left, being vote blue, the Democratic bullshit. On the other side, they're also telling you that you can't cry, you can't complain to be a victim.
Right.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You're not a victim, even though you are being victimized. We're fucked. You know what I'm saying? On this side, you can't say anything. On this side, you can't whine. But we're at the fucking bottom perpetually. And we can't say anything about the systemic disparities. We have to deny they even exist. So when we talk about maternal mortality, it's just bad luck of the draw. All you black bitches, just bad luck of the draw. So when we look at everything else being equal, income, education, everything, they still die at a much higher rate. It's crazy.
Yeah. Crazy health disparities. The disparities are all over the board. And what Democrats will at least acknowledge it. And that's what I like. Well, IG, he put the ADOS link in there. We do have to create our own political path. There has to be something else because imagine this. Because again, I consider this like a form of mental health issue. Like this is a form of like a debilitated mental health. If you walk into a place and there are 2 people and you need help, like there's 2, like you're sick. There are 2 EMTs. One says, I'm gonna throw you a health pack and you gotta fix yourself up. The other one says, I'll fix you up, but I can't say I'm doing anything for you. I gotta help everybody. And you gotta just kind of wait your turn. Now, again, waiting your turn has been forever. And they're saying it again, wait your turn. You know, we gotta help everybody. We can't just help you. We gotta help everybody. So eventually you never get help, which is why everybody's dead last. Well, our group is dead last and everything, because we're never allowed to have targeted legislation. Everybody knows it. Nobody says it. So we're going to stay last because if we don't do it ourselves from behind. So again, we have the least resources, the least human capital, the least working with the least, we're supposed to overcome these obstacles, which is like, it's against physics. It's against math. It's against logic. It defies logic. But you've got to at least be functional.
Right.
Because if you use Ebonics,
my question is this: is like you sit and say, one side will admit there's a problem. I'll say what the left will say. You're right. There's a problem, but we ain't gonna do shit about it. You're right. There is a problem. There's disparate treatment, but we're not gonna do a fucking thing about it. The other side tells you there's not a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. One side is saying, I see your problem. You're correct. It's fucked up. We're not doing anything about it. Just figure it out. The other side tells you there is no problem.
Yeah.
That's the issue. And then, you get into these spaces all the time. So I'm like, I find it maddening because even within the community now, we're starting to talk about this individualism shit. So I hate to even bring it, like, so I hate to, and that's a growing. I'm watching trends in the white community infect the black community because there are people who believe in individualism. So because I made it, we all can make it. No, we all can't, because you made it in spite of the obstacles, not because of the obstacles. So, and I don't want to detract it, but I'll tell you a bill that we should be pushing for. But we've been convinced that it's not a problem. The George Floyd Act, police accountability. When we just watched what happened outside of Chicago with that woman, Sonia Mash, and we got a bunch of goddamn black people saying she threw water. We're part of the fucking problem. We can't even sit there and watch a woman get murdered and agree that she got murdered. And we're just asking for fucking accountability.
Yeah.
That's named, and you know why? Unfortunately, it's somewhat, will white people benefit from it? Absolutely, because they get shot by the police. But we do it a higher percentage based on our population. But guess what? Good luck convincing these niggas to make it an issue. That's what they should be talking about. But no, they won't. Because guess what? It's Miss Massey's fault. It's her fault that she had mental. I don't even want to detract it to that.
Right, I remember that conversation.
I'm just like, we've had, it's so many. And then every time I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, you fuck the Democrats. Okay, what are we going to do? Wait a minute. Y'all saying, y'all saying I'm just imagining these issues.
Right.
They're all in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing fucking great. But I still see the issues. Even though I'm doing well, I'm doing splendid, but I still see the issues that affect my community. So I'm not going to ignore them and say that, oh yeah, I made it in spite of the obstacles. But motherfucker, it wasn't easy. Those roadblocks were there. Whether it was poor, underfunded schools, whether it was, over policing. I mean, just a lot of things, whether it was food insecurity or food deserts in my neighborhood, whether it was a proliferation of drugs into our neighborhoods. Like I said, what they've said forever, they talk about guns and drugs in black neighborhoods. We don't have fucking planes. We're not flying to Columbia. We're not the Smith and Wesson and all them. Come on, cut it out. I have to suspend disbelief to believe that we have access to the things that could create the level of harm to our communities that has. So all I'm saying is, why don't we address why can't we have better gun control? Why can't we? Why can't we have better police accountability? If the police, I believe in good policing. I believe in good police. But motherfucker, if you're doing something wrong, you need to go to jail. The end.
Yeah.
But
the money shouldn't keep coming from the tax base. The money for these lawsuits should not keep coming from the tax base.
Right.
These settlements should not keep coming from the tax base.
My frustration is you got black people who will sit there and buy. I want to be safe too. But you know what? If I have to be a little less safe for police accountability, I'm fine with that. Because I'm just tired of what I'm seeing. I'm tired of it. If they got immunity, they are fucking. No,
he's being ignorant.
Ignore
it.
Asshole.
Oh shit! I got something for you, Rico.
Rico about to crash out on Nova ass. He about to crash out on Nova.
He almost got me. Yes, qualified immunity needs to end today.
Yeah.
Qualified immunity needs to end today. There's no qualified immunity for a doctor killing a patient. There's no qualified immunity for people who have far worse jobs. Far worse jobs. So that's just abject bullshit. So, yes, I 100% agree with you, sister. But, yeah. That's my rant, dog. That's rant number 2. Number 3 coming.
Yeah, let's see if I can trigger.
We're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job. We're going to rebuild our cities. We're going to bring them back like they used to be. We're going to make them safe places again. We're going to give our police their power back, and we're going to give them immunity from prosecution. So they're not prosecuted for doing their job. We'll take over the horribly run capital of our country, Washington, D.C., and clean up, renovate, and rebuild our capital city so that it's no longer a nightmare of murder and crime.
You an asshole. You fucking asshole. You a fucking asshole.
Yeah, man. Immunity.
You are an asshole.
That's funny.
Asshole.
Yeah, so that sold it for me though. Like even like I wouldn't have voted for him because of JD Vance. If you could choose JD Vance, and I'm going to be doing something next week. I've pulled together so much footage. I got to comb through it and sort everything by Monday. I believe is when I set the stream for. But Trump didn't even out of his own mouth. There's something that JD Vance said that's a major position of his on family building, how America should have families. Trump said, I didn't know that was his stance. And this is his running mate. So Trump is either so stupid that he doesn't even know what the policies are of the person that he picked to be second in command of the country, or he's a liar. Either way, stupid or liar, I couldn't vote for that person simply just by choosing JD Vance. But then also saying he's going to give police immunity, that's also a no-go. Like both of those are
but they already
so
right. So he's going to give
so
them
no-go.
I'm going to give you more fucking immunity.
Right.
He wants them to be able to do what he said he could do. Stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot a person and not lose a vote. That's what he wants the police to have. That's the I mean, the couch is a third choice. I'm just saying,
you go.
The couch is a third choice. My point is, I vote for a fucking circus monkey before I would vote for Trump. I just can't do it.
Well,
I can't.
there's one running. There's one running.
Yeah.
And Brother Clarence is asking, are we voting for the circus monkey?
Yes. Circus monkey 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never found my couch or any couch released this. JD Vance is a weirdo. He's different. He's an idiot. Trump for even picking him as an idiot. And Kamala Harris is another mixed bag because here's the thing, Brother Clarence. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Because I heard you on your thing, and I try not to go off in the chat. Because Brother Clarence is one of those believers in if you don't vote for person A, it's automatically a vote for person B, which drives me nuts because it literally can't be a vote for person B because I didn't vote for person A. It's not possible. Like if I go in the store and they got Coke and Pepsi and I don't pick Coke, I don't automatically have the Pepsi purchased. I just don't pick either one. Like that's all that means. Like I didn't pick A and I didn't pick B. That means neither were picked. It doesn't mean if I didn't pick Coke that Pepsi got my dollar. That's not how that works. That's not how physics works. That's not how money works. That's not how math works. It's not real. It's not effectively the same. It's absolutely not effectively the same. It's not even logical. That's not even a logical take. It's not a logical stance. And I wish people would quit saying it because it makes absolutely no sense.
No.
It makes no sense.
I used to believe that bullshit, but it's bullshit. It is bullshit.
I swear it's not.
It's not how
anything works. That's not how
anything works.
Proceed. Back up off the ledge. That's not how that works.
How it works.
How you feel. It's not how it works. Back up off the ledge.
Just because left and right is a thing does not discount the existence of the center.
Yeah,
the middle still exists.
Still there.
Left, right, center. You can absolutely be in the middle and just say fuck it all and let this shit crash out, which is where I'm at. That's why when he say couch is an option, guess what? I'm sitting on mine right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'll be November 3rd. Right on the couch.
Man. Brother Clarence, no. I'm not allowing you to explain that nonsense.
Oh,
It's
hell
nonsense.
no.
I like you. We can have a conversation about it another time, but no, that nonsense is not getting airtime today. Love you, like you, respect you, but that one, I'm not allowing you how to tell me that 2 + 7 is 36,718. I'm not letting you try to do that.
And if you
Not
talk
about
long,
the Terrence. You're not about the Terrence Howard this.
and if you talk long enough, he'll convince your ass.
Yeah.
You be like, okay, make him stop. Okay.
Man, no, not that one. Not that one. We can have that conversation with David, man. I can't do that today, boy. Not because I know the thing, he'll be serious. The thing is, he'll be serious, and I won't be able to take it serious. I want to be respectful because it's such a I can't do that. That position drives me crazy.
All that comes from is the faithful. If you are a faithful proponent of your side,
if you're with me, you're against.
Somebody that's not of your side is again.
I can see that.
And Bro C, you know I love you. And
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Same thing, like I always say, like thumpers. You know the Bible thumper. You
Yeah.
either believe what they believe or you a non-believer.
Right. Yeah. There's only two.
Is.
Yeah, binary choice. Yeah, binary.
It's binary.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, it's and that's okay, and I love it. You know that I think it's acceptable, but I also don't agree with it.
Yeah. But I had to get that Trump nonsense here real quick. But I got something else for I didn't. Is the last thing on
back to Kamala. I'm back on Kamala defense.
Yeah, let's get a little bit more Kamala real quick because somebody said something. Because this is another one of those things, like what Brother Clarence said, like a thing that people say that I really can't stand when they say it. But we're gonna get it from one of my favorite people.
Before y'all start calling my radio show and DMing me talking about why you ain't asked no hard-hitting questions, that ain't what this is. I'm throwing a lob. This is an alley-oop for a dunk because this administration needs to get the word out of what they're actually doing and what they're actually accomplishing so we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people. Can't nobody come out with no agenda and call it this for black people and expect to get in the White House. You got to play the game different. Y'all know what this is. So now this next question is another lob for her to dunk. Because they done a lot, man. But we see, I'm on this radio show and I'm hearing all these people talking about, I'm not voting if they not doing nothing for us. Listen to me. If you do not vote, the analytics will show. They know how many women vote, they know the age you are when you vote. If we don't vote, how we gonna ask for something next time? If you ain't got no voting power, you talking about reparations. Ain't nobody finna give you no reparations and you don't vote. Oh, why you think they finna give us some money? No, how, man, I hope they do. They owe us. I'll go down there. I'm sorry. Madam.
I could have clicked that a little bit shorter, but
you can even pander in AAVA. AAVE.
AAVE. Absolutely. Now here's my thing, because the people talk about you. If you don't vote, you can't ask for anything next time. It's always the next time. It's always kicking the can down the road, and it's never our turn to ask for anything. Now, what I would say, because I'm not somebody that wouldn't vote, I do vote, but I've had 2 elections where I could not vote for president. I could not vote in good conscience for either person that was running for president, and I left that part. I think the first time it was Kerry Bush, and I probably wrote somebody in. I can't remember. I probably wrote somebody in.
Say one of them Obamas you didn't vote.
No, it was Kerry. No, it was Kerry Bush was the first one, and then it was Biden. Trump was the second one. I'm not choosing between the lesser 2 evils. I'm tired of regurgitating. Okay. I'm going to choose an evil.
You got Obama. You got Obama.
I did vote for Obama. I did vote for Obama.
You good. Go ahead.
No. Because he was terrible in his own way. He was the second time I shouldn't have. He was terrible in his own way.
Okay. All right. I think you say you ain't gonna vote for all these white men. Then
okay, so I would say this. Okay, all right. So let's. I do want to ask something though. It's got something to do with.
Let's go.
He could have been terrible in his own way, but would you say he shouldn't have been president?
Well, again, when you say should or should not have, I'm going to come from an idealistic perspective. No, he should not have been president But from that same lens, most of the people we had
pragmatic.
should not have been president.
Okay, right. That's what I was gonna say.
Right, yeah.
But we can look at the last two presidents shouldn't have been president. Like, what the hell are we doing?
The last
America?
20.
Yeah.
The last
I
none
mean-
of the motherfuckers should have been president. I can't.
I mean, that's also to Rashawn's point. If we look at the long list of it, a lot of them shouldn't have.
right.
Right.
So, but yeah,
we have, but recently we've had two of the biggest examples in American history
Terrible
of niggas who shouldn't have been president. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So that's why I asked, because like there's fucking up, there's not doing the job up to everybody's standard, and then there's whatever these niggas is doing.
Well, let me ask you.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Yella.
Mhm.
By your example, would you not say Biden is president only because of Trump?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, but that's
to the poll.
But that's how it used to. That's actually how it used to go, though. Like the vice president typically had the bigger advantage.
No,
going into the.
But yeah,
I think he's talking about mobility. I think he's talking about mobility.
Right. No,
like
what I'm
mobilization.
saying,
Mobilization.
But this is what I'm saying. Biden wasn't the vice president. He had been out of office. But after 4 years of Trump, I don't even think in 2020 people really wanted Biden. They were just sick of Trump.
Anti-Trump.
So it was
That's
a
why we got the record
pragmatic
voters.
choice. That's what I'm getting at. So Biden being wildly unpopular in 2024, I'm like, surprise. That motherfucker wasn't surprised. He wasn't popular in 2020.
Yeah.
We were just so. Biden became president because of Trump. And Kamala might become president again because of Trump. It's not like I'm wildly enthusiastic about her. It's a pragmatic choice.
And look, I tell you one thing, right? Like that by that same logic, that's the reason Kamala was in the position to be vice president. Anybody could have been. I could have been in that position.
Yeah,
and they the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's kind of the thing. I don't.
Is that
if
bad? Yella?
If there's any level of, I'm gonna be straight up with you. If there's any level of faith that I have in my country, is that I know that they would never put a woman in that level of power.
I worry about that. I do worry about that. But I'm telling you, if now let me ask you this, Yella, based on what exactly you said. Exactly what you said. You have faith in your country that they will never, ever, 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 ever put a woman at that level of power, right?
Yeah.
If she wins, what the fuck does that say about Trump?
I mean,
you see what I'm getting at? You see what I'm getting at? Is that the dichotomy is that he was such a bad person. America say, fuck it, let the bitch in. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it gets down to. Let's talk ebonics. Man, I ain't letting no fuck it. We're gonna have to deal with this bitch for 4 years. Because I'm not letting this motherfucker back in. That's the dichotomy that I'm saying in my head, and I think in a lot of people's head. I told y'all I will vote for a fucking circus. I will watch a circus monkey sit in the Oval Office and juggle for 4 years before I would vote for fucking Trump.
No shit at the press conferences and shit.
Yes.
Juggle for 4 years.
Yes.
Cold.
Yes. That says more about him than it does the person I'm voting for.
Vote Mr. Wiggles.
Yes.
But that's to y'all's question a minute ago. There are people of, I would say, maybe good conscience or good faith that have been in office that tried their best and maybe just were incompetent, or maybe they might have been hamstrung by legislators, like they just didn't have the House and the Senate on their side. So there's a lot of that. There are a lot of people that I think could have been. I think Joe Biden at a certain age, he could have been a decent like person that presided over the country. He just as too old.
Yeah.
At the time he got in, he was too old. He could have been a good faith representation of leadership, like he was in the Senate. Like, even though I have problems with his policies and things that he's had in his past, and you're not black, but I was for this country, like with all the things that we're baking into it and accepting, all the internal racism, and you can't do anything for black people explicitly, he could have represented that just fine about a decade earlier. I think Bernie might have been able to pull it off at his age. He just for some reason he just has a zest that doesn't. I don't know. I think the presidency might have aged him like it did Biden, but I don't know.
Yeah, it do everybody like that. Though.
Everybody but Trump. Everybody but Trump. Everybody but
Trump. But I look at it like this.
Because he paid. It's good money to look like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think
age the same way.
If I think back a little bit, I don't think Kennedy was a bad president. He just was a hoe. He couldn't stop fucking everybody. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. He wanted to be a playboy. He wanted to be a playboy, but I don't think he was. Historically, I don't think he was a terrible president. I'm gonna tell you now. This might surprise you. I didn't think the first Bush was that
bad. In hindsight,
was that bad?
That's what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying, y'all? Like the last two motherfuckers have made. Dude, I lived through Bush Jr. and I was like, well, shit. I'm looking back at best, like I think niggas might have overreacted a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I am too. I'm like, bring old W back.
The standard has brought it. The standard is
bars
the standard is
babies right now.
Yeah, but like y'all said, people are so anti-Trump, and reasonably so, that people will vote for a circus monkey. They could bring Joe Biden's ashes back in the urn.
I'm with you, Conscious. I'm serious. I'm not.
And Malcolm X, like with the moderates and the liberals, they have their own version of snakiness that can't be trusted by black people specifically.
My point is. I said all of them ain't shit, and I'm not romanticizing any of them. But I'm saying it always comes down to a pragmatic choice because we're not going to get an idealist. We're not going to get a person who really cares. Just pie in the sky just ain't going to happen. But give me Bubbles the fucking circus monkey. I'm sorry. I'll bring the balls for him to juggle.
Let me ask you a question. Because we're talking about Kamala, the DEI hire claim. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel that that's a justified claim? Because I've had conversations with people in other places about her being a DEI hire. I want to get y'all's take on that before I give y'all mine.
No, because if we as a country have accepted mediocre white men forever, we can accept even if you think she's mediocre. The white men have never been exceptional. Vice president, she is as equally qualified as mediocre as you want to claim she is. Excuse me. She's no more of a DEI hire than fucking Dan Quayle was, who couldn't fucking pronounce tomato. I'm just like, come on.
He might have been speaking AAVE.
So by the standard, if we're going to say the standard of vice president, she's been no more of a DEI hire than any. Fucking McCain was gonna get Sarah Palin whole ass, thought ass. Come on, we have a short memory.
Hold on.
But real quick, Rico, answer the question like yes or no.
No.
Is she no? Okay.
No.
I mean, at the time, she was a baddie.
Sarah was a baddie.
Just because Glenn, what's the basketball player, Yella? Glenn, what's the name? Said he fucked her. It's a basketball player in the NBA. I'm gonna tell you his name.
Was it Glenn Robinson?
Look.
Pretty good.
I ain't mad at him.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me look it up. I'm gonna tell you the guy's name.
I ain't mad at him.
Yeah.
I don't went through.
Sarah was in
the DEI hire.
Okay, so indulge me because I don't have the patience to really give a fuck about what DEI would mean. So
real quick, Yella, it was Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice.
Yes.
My nigga.
How?
You know, right?
Hey, he's a shooter. He's a shooter.
He's definitely a shooter.
He's a shooter.
All-time
Right.
shooter, baby.
Okay.
Let's go.
He's a shooter.
Let's go. Let's go.
Anybody look it up? I ain't
He's
making
a
that
shooter.
shit up.
My nigga.
He gonna shoot his shot. He gonna shoot his shot.
Okay, so what does DEI mean?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Which I have to ask, dog. How is that racist? Diversity, equity, inclusion. How's that racist? Because that's not even speaking to race specifically.
No.
So, as far as the hire for her being vice president, like her being picked as the running mate, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of what Joe specifically said. I'm going to pick a black woman.
He didn't say that for vice president. He said that for Supreme Court. He didn't say that for vice president.
I'm about to double check because I got him saying that for. I thought he said that. I'm gonna double check it.
He did not for vice president. He said that for Supreme Court.
President.
He did. He didn't say that for vice president. He said that for the Supreme Court, and he did pick a black woman.
Now that was Justice Ketanji, right?
Right.
Ketanji Brown
But
Jackson.
he did. But I do think he picked her because he wanted the black vote. But he didn't say that.
I mean, yeah, same difference. Yeah, same difference. She was definitely picked.
I agree.
She was definitely picked to raise an antenna, get it to receive a certain signal. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, right now, you know what I'm saying? That's the demographic with the loudest voice and the loudest opinion. So why not appeal to them if you want to win an election or a popularity contest?
Let me just say this real quick. Conscious TV, I would disagree with respectfully with DEI being basically affirmative action because DEI is optional. It's never been mandatory or enforced or even instructed. Companies voluntarily choose to have DEI initiatives to create a more diversified workforce. So I think that the concept, I wish we would do more education to ourselves. I think we allow white supremacist talking points to permeate our space, and we just accept them for the way that they are. The same way they tried to define CRT, which was some bullshit. We should educate ourselves and say, what exactly is DEI for black people? Because, I mean, they code it and they paint. Okay, I agree with it, but I'm just saying, I think most companies willingly choose to take DEI or don't. So,
I mean, I wish I can get a job just because I'm black. Shit,
right? But them,
I don't feel like a bad deal.
Right? We make it. But
let me be CEO. Why you think you should be CEO? I'm black. Duh.
No, but Yella, you got the job not because you're black. You got the job because you're qualified. I mean, you see what I'm saying? But it's if I gave you the job because you're black, then they're going to say you only got the job because you're black. I gave you the job because you're qualified and you happen to be black,
trained, right?
And the reason why they throw out that term is to restrict black people from getting these positions. You see what I'm saying? Which is what affirmative action was. Even affirmative action wasn't bad. It was created because we were being discriminated against. And they want to go back to that. That's why I fight against them labeling us.
I'm gonna fill out an app and like, what are your skills? I'm gonna put being black.
Right. They want to discredit her preparedness. They want to discriminate against us again. And that's
but then that's a weird ask because I don't think too many people are prepared to be the president. Like most people ain't prepared. I don't think anybody's ever truly prepared to be married or prepared to be a parent. Like big life situations like that. Like you could read as many books, you can study all the fuck you want to. Because guess what? Some motherfuckers who are pro-Trump, wasn't nobody prepared for the fucking pandemic.
Yeah,
it all went bad. So like shit gonna happen. So I mean,
everybody got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. I'm with you.
Yeah, everybody got a plan till they got hit in the mouth. Right. The best laid plans are mice and men.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I mean, what exactly is she doing, or is any of them doing? It's like a lot of that shit. They don't even really do shit. Like just from the little bit that I do try to watch and keep up with, it's like they make all these claims, yet you've seen none of this stuff that it's little shit that the president get through. It's been little shit lately. I think the biggest thing might have been the Healthcare Act.
Yeah.
But all those other acts you were naming, the president ain't putting that shit through. He like, all right, cool, whatever. But that's the ideas of other people.
Yes.
Right. He just signed off and shit. All right, cool. That sound cool. But it ain't a policy that he came up with.
Nope.
A lot of them niggas just say the things so they can win the popularity contest. Then when they get in there, they might hear in there some tax shit or some minor shit.
Do you guys really know the president's greatest power out of everything? Can you guys imagine the president's greatest power?
Other than the nuclear codes, I would say the veto. Like declaring war would be.
There you go. Nope. Arshawn, you said it. The power to veto. Where the House and the Senate pass a bill, and if he don't like it, you can say, fuck y'all, no.
Yeah,
nukes and declaring war
are my number one. Declaring war my number one. Yeah, I'm gonna say nigga, real shit.
But Arshawn,
I hope it's that picture of Lincoln. Like I really hope it's that picture of Lincoln that just opened up, and it's that red button right behind the motherfucker.
The president doesn't have the power to declare war.
He doesn't. But I mean, but Bush, like they can. They have to do it a certain way. Again,
they just send motherfuckers. But it's not a declared war until Congress votes.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying
right. But again, like Bush did that after the fact. Bush found a way around that. That means from now on, it's on the books. You can just go to war and then have them clean it up after.
Yeah, that motherfucker was waterboarding people and it wasn't supposed to be doing. So he did all kinds of shit, but it doesn't mean it was legal or lawful.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
Legally and lawfully has the right to veto a bill.
When you are the law, but you are the law though. Like that's the thing about it. You are the law.
I am the law. I am the law.
I mean, Rico, you are the law.
The president. The president.
Yes.
No.
All right. I'm gonna put it like this. How many of the president? We've seen all these presidents outside of Obama. We've seen these presidents come up with hella scandals. Yet none of them got yeeted out of office. How many presidents have been impeached out of office since we didn't started presidents? One.
Who was it? Johnson.
One. I think it was one. It may be one.
Probably had to be Andrew Johnson because it wasn't.
Come on, Nova. There's some shit Nova probably knows because he's the closest to have been in his school and shit.
Oh, Nixon resigned, so that wasn't an impeachment. I want to say it probably was Andrew Johnson.
See? There ain't many.
Yes. I think it was Andrew Johnson. That's it. Maybe. Yeah. But no other president has been out of office.
Exactly. We didn't have president getting his dick sucked in the office. We didn't have president supposed to be fucking with strippers. We didn't have president supposed to do it. That's that and the other.
Johnson, okay, IG
and
Green
what,
said it was Johnson.
And what did he get impeached for? What did Johnson get impeached for? Probably like some petty shit.
I don't know. I can't remember now.
Unless he was like stealing some dumb shit. But I'm saying, like, you mean to tell me out of all these years, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, you the law when you the president. I wish I would be
this what I'm saying. I know they get away with a great deal of shit. So I'm not. I see what you're saying. I just won't put the law on it, but I definitely agree with you with the amount of power. But I'm just saying when I think about like presidents don't write bills, they don't enact bills because they don't get to vote on bills. So for a law to become a law, it has to be a bill introduced to Congress. People have to vote on it. It has to pass, and the president signs it. So the president, he or she can want whatever the fuck they want. They don't get to introduce a bill and they don't get to vote on it. They only get to sign it. Nothing else. So unless the bill, that's what I always say, send the bill to my desk and I will sign it. They can't get the bill that they want to their desk. All they do is they get voted in. They're a fucking figure. kind of like dog, you've been kicking my ass. Isn't that kind of the same way that the prime minister in the UK does, right? So the prime minister in the UK, shit, the UK, they go through like 2-3 a year prime ministers. I'm like, fuck, their parliamentary system is even a little bit even crazier because they had the Indian dude, he just got kicked out. Somebody else in that might make it to the end of the year. Yeah, executive orders do work, but they can always be overturned by the courts. They can be held up by the courts. Immunity.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
I don't think. But here's the thing, Conscious. Just to be clear, I don't think immunity can pardon you from a conviction. I don't think it can stop your prosecution. Now, if they're in office, they can order or tell their attorney general to drop it. But like Trump, even if he wins, he's still fucked in Georgia. He has no control over the state of Georgia. Yes. I mean, if he wins, do I think they're going to drop it? Yes. But they don't have to.
Man, he ain't going to jail.
Nah, he ain't going to jail. You're right. None of those
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
It won't happen.
That's all that matters.
But
you can find me. I ain't gonna pay that shit back. He don't. Right. You think Trump didn't paid all the money he owed back? Hell no. He gotta pay that shit back. You know why? Especially if I'm the president, all my debts is gone. All my debts is gone.
This is something to think about. I told somebody earlier today. I said, "Do you realize that we're voting on a person that may become the president of the United States that has a $500 million debt that he owes to the state of New York?" We all forgot that, right? Fuck the 34 charges for the other thing. The first case he lost, he got a judgment of $500 million. $500 million he owed. So that makes him a security risk. Because when I was in the military, if you owed money, you were a security risk. You couldn't get a top secret clearance because they wasn't going to tell you no secrets because they figure, hey, somebody would offer you money, you'd roll over.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to figure out how to get $500 million in debt. Like
he was stealing.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to do. They call it debt. If I'm doing that, they gonna call it some other shit, and I'm going to jail. But they call it a debt.
Yeah, but $500 million.
Oh.
I'm like, how the fuck is he still running? But that's the power of whiteness.
Come on with
that
it.
We all in America deny exists. No. Show me when a person of color with a $500 million deficit, if they're Hispanic or Black, their community won't vote for them, much less any other community. We would never do it. If there was a Black person running for president that owed $500 million, he would probably have 3% Black support among Black people. So nobody else is going to support him. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck does he have any support?
Different rules.
Explain that to me. You know, it feels good to deny it. Exactly.
Man, listen, I've seen a lot of that too. That was so sad to see. He been shot at. I'm like, bro, that can't be your point. That can't be your point of connection to this dude. Is the fact that he got his ear shot at. And he got felony charges.
This is crazy.
Hey man.
Oh god.
This is crazy.
Remember the struggle.
So you know what Donald Trump need to do at his next rally? Fire up a fucking doobie.
You
That's
know what?
it.
That would Kamala did that on the Breakfast Club.
Nah.
I smoked with Snoop listening to Tupac or something like that. She said something crazy.
But, but he need to go full gangster and smoke that shit.
See, he missed his opportunity because he could have had Meg at his rally since both of them got shot.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
True. I got one last thing I wanted. I have to post this link real quick, but I wanted to go over one more thing with y'all. So y'all just buy me like 60 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm be honest with you. Me and my wife, who she vote the way I tell her. But what's hilarious is we crack up. She's not a Trump voter, but like me and her say, and I told him, I said, I have to admit, it's enjoyable watching him run because he's such a liar. His lies can be so incredulous that they are a little bit funny. But get down to the seriousness of it. I hate the fact that I laugh at the shit. But I do chuckle like I'm like, this motherfucker is crazy.
Hey, did you see him at the NABJ? Did you see him at
Oh man. I mean, I was in tears. It's funny. And I was like, why am I not mad that he's there? Because if he hadn't came, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy this shit. It's funny, but it's also scary.
Yeah, it's sad. It's destructively entertaining. It's like, man, it's what's that? Like watching what's that show called? Oh my God, what was it called? Wipeout. It's like watching people on shows where like they have a catastrophic fail when they lose the game. It's like, but you watch them and like you're hoping that they get knocked off the balance beam. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of. It's sad that politics has gotten to that level. Like it's not serious. We don't take it serious. It's a very weird space where we use it for our catharsis. It's become like a new sporting ground.
And I will say this too, because again, I know our knee-jerk reaction is to say, why do black people always go to their base emotions? And that's true, 100% true. So I'm not about to sit there and cape for it, but I'm just here to sit there and say it's an equal number, if not more, of white people that's at that same level. We have a tendency to think all white people are highbrow and highfalutin and elite. Notice a lot of trailer park. It's a unbelievable number. Their ratchet is 10 times the number of our ratchet. It just is. And I just
as far as volume.
Yes, I wish we would recognize that more because we talk as if they don't have any. I'm like, have you been to a Trump rally? Have you seen those stupid motherfuckers?
But that's the power of having the control of media. Like you get to choose what gets highlighted and negated. Like that, you have the editorial. Being able to make the editorial decision, it means a lot.
Yes. So they get to hide their lowest common denominator while they elevate ours.
Mm-hmm. And again, all of it, like we were talking about with language, a lot of that is passed on behavior. Like people don't even think about it because we do it. Like you said, black people criticize black people more than like there's a thing that we pass on. I've learned that about people. There's a lot of things that we don't even examine about our own thoughts and behaviors and feelings that we inherit from the people before us. So a lot of it is, well, like when I was just talking to Yella at the beginning of this, or it might have been a stream before, where I was talking about black people die quick or fast in the horror movies. And there's probably nobody in the writer's room thinking like, okay, we need to get a black person to die first. Nobody's probably doing that. But there's a pattern of seeing it. Like the black people are easy to throw away in a movie where they're not the star of the movie. They can die. We're not paying them any money. So it's learned behavior. Nobody probably even thinks about it. It's just like, okay, well, I'm going to hire who's the cheapest actor. That's the person we're going to kill off. And there's reasons for why that person's the cheapest actor and not well regarded as far as in the industry and acting. Like all these things we don't even consider that are part of the equation.
So that's like in the same way that the black actor has to be the comedic relief.
Yeah, or the mammy.
You can't envision them in a leading role or dramatic role because niggas is always supposed to be funny, athletic, and able to dance and entertain. I've never seen them do anything else. So why would I cast you, direct you, script you, or write you any other way?
Right. And I'm going to say that this is where we get with the politics. We have to script ourselves differently because it took like black people taking control of their own media, even if it was like out of trunk selling movies or plays like Tyler Perry out of trunks or at bake sales or church functions. We have to find a way to cast ourselves differently for ourselves through ourselves, not depending upon somebody else to recast us, because they've shown us that that's not going to happen. Even if they say, Oscar's so white, they're still going to say, well, Macklemore gets his Grammy. This the dichotomy of learned behavior versus what they think people want to hear in society. We can't trust that. So we have to learn to recast ourselves in these roles to gain our own semblance of authority and power within our own families, communities. And it's a struggle because we have those same thought patterns ingrained in us from growing up here. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult. And I wanted to fact check something because Rico fought me back on that DEI thing. But what Biden said, if I'm elected president, my cabinet and my administration will look like the country. And I commit that I will, in fact, pick a woman to be vice president. But you are right. Earlier, before he did that, he did say, if I'm elected and I have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the court. Yes. So black woman to the court. But as far as VP, he said a woman.
Not black.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Which goes to what Dog has said. Dog said, I always saw her as a woman, not as a person of color. Which was interesting.
And she is a woman. I mean, Trump said she wasn't black. Maybe she's not a woman. Of course, somebody asked Donald Trump, is she a woman?
Listen. You know how they came from Michelle?
Right.
Look at this. She got Adam's apple. She got Adam's apple.
And forgive me, but I as a black man, will be damned if for my remaining years, I'm going to let a racist white man take away the identity of a black woman, whether she's half black, 1/4 black, 1/10. I don't give a fuck if she 1 drop black. That white man does not get to take away the racial identity of anybody, just Donald Trump.
Yeah,
a proven, demonstrable racist white man. How dare you? You don't vote for Kamala for a million other reasons. But so here's my thing is, everybody got butt hurt when Joe Biden made on the Breakfast Club. If you got to be black, vote for me. How the fuck was that any different? How was that any different? I need somebody to help me, because I'm like, they still talking about that shit. I guess she's biracial, triracial, whatever. I don't give a fuck if she's blue. He don't get to say anything, is my point.
Shoot. Oh, now you think Donald was Asian? You taking his white card back? That's what's up. No, we're taking his white card. All right, last question.
I'm just saying, Donald shouldn't get to say anything about anybody.
That's a reasonable take. He shouldn't have the credibility to set the temperature or to set the narrative. I get you.
About race?
He does, yeah, I get
about you. Race. He didn't talk a policy issue. I get it. Shit on her for a policy. Shit on her for a prosecution history. I get all that. The one thing all the way back to this nigga been doing birtherism since 2012. He was doing it to Obama.
If the joke works, you got to keep running it out there.
Right. Why we keep letting this motherfucker do this? Him.
Jesus.
He did that shit to the Central Park. Why does he get to sit there and be the arbitrator of whose race is whatever and where the fuck they're born? What's wrong with us that I don't care. If y'all don't want to put her in the fully black camp, great.
Yeah.
He don't
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But that's when I was talking about like that colonial imperial mindset, when I talked about that Gothics lady, that's something that a lot of us adopted. If a white man says something, a lot of us, when they say the white man's ISIS coder, they really meant a white and a man, like a white man. Mm-hmm. It's not a white woman's ISIS coder. White men have a like implicit authority in this country. We've just automatically we've accepted that, adopted it. There's something about that. So when Donald says something, people automatically give it authority when he shouldn't be given that kind of credence or credibility. He's proven that he's a liar or incompetent in too many domains. Or racist.
He's proven. Yeah. So at that point of demonstrable proof, okay, sir, thank you. We know who you are. That's fine. Right. You don't get to identify anyone else. Have a great day.
Yeah, buddy. Yep. That's good old Trump. But I got one last portion of the Kamala thing that's been bothering me a little bit, but not as much as some people, but it brought up a little healthy debate a little earlier. So I want to ask you guys what you think about this.
Now I know my ladies in the crowd love their body. Real hot girls. And if you want to keep loving your body, you know who to vote for.
Megan Thee Stallion kicked off Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign event in Atlanta, getting the crowd hyped.
We're about to make history with the first female president. Hottie for Harris.
She even shared some backstage fun with the VP.
What do you have to say to the American people?
We are not going back.
But she wasn't the only one getting the crowd hyped. They showed off their excitement singing along to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Another musician who showed up for Kamala.
If y'all don't know me, I go by the name of Quavo.
Quavo, who lost his nephew and Migos partner Takeoff to gun violence, helped introduce Harris to the crowd of 10,000 people.
And you can't understand the struggles of gun violence if you're not in the field or in the heart of it. So one thing I learned about working with Vice President Harris is she always stand on business.
And then it came time for the VP to address the crowd.
Please give it up for Quavo. And Megan.
She even fit a mention of the Atlanta native into her speech.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
Now you heard her playing.
It's a panda special. It's a panda special.
Panda bear, buddy.
Is that any different than what the other side is doing? They all panda. This is
you do a lot of equivocation there.
Okay,
Rico.
let me stay.
I'm just asking your opinion on this, not on what the other side is doing. What is your opinion on this? Good, bad, or indifferent?
It is standard pandering 101. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a politician not pander from the local level all the way up. Whatever, you could be running for dog catcher. You got to pander to get the votes to win. You won't know their authenticity until they're in office. Fine. Now, I didn't know if you were also asking us to opine on the entertainers. I didn't have a problem with Miss Stallion doing her thing. I know
Quavo.
Quavo, I didn't have a problem with none of it. It's like they're entertainers, and entertainers come to entertain. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't expect her to read, War and Peace. I didn't expect that. Right. I expected Megan to do Megan shit. And she brought the crowd to her feet. They was excited. I didn't think she did anything inappropriate. She's a beautiful, talented young woman. Great. Kudos to her. Kudos to Quavo. Kamala pandered because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're never going to get anything real out of anybody until they win. After they win, they'll let you know whether or not they're going to fuck you or not. And at the end of the day, I want her to win, and I expect her to fuck us after she wins. I'm okay with that. I just don't want that idiot in there. Period. It's a pragmatic approach. I'm not expecting her to do anything for black people. The only thing I would demand of her is to do no harm. Don't do anything to make our plight any harder than what it already is. Do whatever you can to protect the plight of black people. Even if you don't do anything to help us come up, we will continue to rise because we are resilient fucking people. Well, I'll rise no matter what, with or without her fucking help. But don't knock down some of those barriers. Don't make sure no more are constructed in front of me, and I'm good to go. I don't want her to do shit, but they're all gonna fuck us. So I'm ready for the next fucking.
All right. What you think, Yella? Did you have an opinion on the type of entertainment that was selected for the broadcast, for the events?
I mean, if anything, it'll look lit. I can tell you that.
Okay. Yada 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 yada.
My only problem is I'm mad Meg lost all that weight. Now she all skinny now. She ain't thick like she used to be. I don't mind a
She ain't
slimmer
as thick
woman,
as she was. Yeah, she
So
used
you
to
trying
be
to
I'm like,
slim. She
I'm
still look
like some
good.
meat.
So
She
Yella,
look
you
hot.
trying to say Meg turned white?
Meg on that she went to
Ozempic?
Ozempic body parts.
This dude's stupid. I agree with Conscious. Like Meg makes sense because of the female reproductive rights. That part makes total sense. I totally understand that. Megan will be behind her for that. And as far as women voting for her altogether, if that's a single issue that women are standing behind, regardless of what else she might stand for,
Get that vote.
I completely understand. Quavo, that is a weird choice, but I also didn't listen to his entire speech on gun violence. I just thought it made sense for an event in Atlanta, but I just didn't think it made sense for the type of person that Kamala had put herself out there to be in certain places. She still tries, she tries to stay hip hop adjacent, but she tries to stay just removed enough to still go back to where, you know what I'm saying? She tries to keep, I would say, I feels like she tries to keep some of the black off of her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just like plausible deniability, like a little
my friend Quavo
professional
said.
distance.
But let me ask you a question. Isn't that the whole thing where they always talk about in politics? You got to pivot back to the middle. And the middle is the silent majority. And the silent majority in America is still what? White. They always have to, they can pander to these fringe group, but they always have to move back to the center, which is the majority group. And I get you, IG. I wish I could be more forceful. But you know, yeah. Is she doing harm? She's probably doing harm by maintaining the status quo of America. So I would absolutely agree with you there. The status quo of America definitely does do harm to a lot of marginal groups that I wish they would stop doing. I don't know how he fix it all. And then if a president does come into office and say, "Hey, I'm going to address the issues of race, the issues of orientation, the issues of ability, and all these marginal communities," rest assured that's going to be a one-term president. Rest assured, you better get every motherfucking thing you can in those 4 years, because that's going to be the end of that president. And then you have to hope and pray whatever they did enact and enforce doesn't get repealed or returned back to by any subsequent president, which they tend to do. I believe in America because it's still a white male-dominated space. Unfortunately, I hate to say, I won't use, let me be careful with my word choice. White America is going to accept change to the better of other people in the way it has always in the past, incrementally, small. If you throw major change in America to these white powers that be, they are going to raise up. And that's my fear, is what's going to be their response. I don't want to see communities get worse because we make these motherfuckers do the right thing. If we make them do the right thing, will they simply accept it? I'm afraid of what they might do. That's just my biggest concern. Other than that, I'd run for president and say, fuck y'all. This is the way it's gonna be.
Got a few like more quick fire questions that off Kamala specifically, but like some of them are going to bring her into it. More election voting type stuff. Let me see. So Kamala skipped out on the NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists. She skipped them, but Trump went. And some of us saw how that went. It was very contentious from two of the journalists. At least one of them was very contentious, I'll say. Then there was one who was pro-Trump. She's a Fox News. I can't remember her name all of a sudden. But
Harris
then there was Harris Faulk. But what did you think about Kamala skipping out on the NABJ event and Trump actually showing up? Tell me what you both of you thought, if you thought anything.
I think it was absolutely fine. Kamala went to a funeral. She went to the funeral of a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. She went to a black funeral for a black congresswoman from the state of Texas, a world-renowned black congresswoman. Okay, so if you know, she went to the funeral. She, as a matter of fact, she gave the eulogy of the congresswoman Sheila Jackson. I forgot her middle name, but she was a black congresswoman from Texas, member of the CBC that had been fighting for black shit for decades, almost 30 years. So yes, she missed it. But she's particularly missed it because Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah, that did happen. And they couldn't do Zoom for whatever reason. So she couldn't even call in if she had wanted to.
I wouldn't want her to Zoom it. She was at that woman's funeral for her family. So no disrespect, NABG. Fuck y'all.
Right. Dang.
Sorry. I mean, for that, come on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Trump only went. Trump might as well not went. Look at what the fuck he did.
Man, that was crazy. That was funny though. But like you said, it was that destructive entertainment. It was like a I don't know why it's so terrible that's so enjoyable to watch. It was a train wreck. You guys are so nasty. It's nasty. You didn't even say hello or greet me.
Right. But see, here's the catch part. People didn't understand. I brought this up earlier. He was like, the other candidate come like Trump. It wasn't a debate. It was an interview.
Yeah.
Even if Kamala came, y'all wouldn't have been on the stage at the same time. They would have interviewed y'all at two separate times, you asshole.
Yeah. He was setting a narrative like she was
right. So realistically, it was better for you that she didn't come because you got all the airtime to yourself, and you fucking got bum rushed out of there once they realized how fucking terrible you were doing, you dickhead.
What about you?
Now, I'm taking a different approach because all I heard was NABJ.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna need to be there to figure out what the BJ is about. I know a national American.
I know what a blowjob, not a blowjob. NABJ.
I thought it was like nonstop awesome blowjobs. Like that's what I was thinking.
I knew that shit.
Oh god,
not your average blowjob. That's what I was thinking.
Oh lord.
Octua.
Look.
Octua.
She could have came. That's what I look.
This is for her.
What?
You gotta answer this. You gotta.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Huck to and spit on it. Spit on it.
See? I always notice her friend grabbed the back of her head. She knew what time it was. She was pat on the back of the head like, girl, you know, you've been waiting your whole life for this.
But look, but this is the thing, right? They talk about Megan, and this bitch done went viral and making money off of this shit. Why?
Because that's the nature of the beast. Oh, don't get me started on that shit, Rico.
But you know,
I've been seeing so many people.
But you see, you do see a difference though, Yella, right? If that was a person of a different hue, it wouldn't have come out as so positive.
Rico, you know it's too many hoes. It's too many hoes that's getting celebrated. Yeah, I'm finna say that's all we do is celebrate hoes in our community right now. No, let's stop.
No.
Let's stop it now. I can list 17 hoes that's making money right now because they hoes.
I don't know, but I just don't know. I just don't know if they making money like this young lady is. And
they are.
We don't even know that she's done what she got famous for. We have no clue.
I mean, even if she has, so what?
I'm just saying, but we know people that are actually out there. So it's like,
yeah,
I get you. That's your point,
right?
I just thought she got famous for saying she gonna spit on it.
He got assassination attempt sneakers. Oh, you lying?
Have mercy.
He did. Oh,
people buy anything. Y'all gotta be kidding me.
Oh,
really?
I remember he had the old gold ones.
Tell me that's a joke.
Selling assassination attempt sneakers.
Tell me that's a joke.
The Get Trump thing has already said on. I guess he rolled out his gold ones out again. It was the same gold ones, looks like. Well, no. There it is. Nope. Oh, snap. Donald Trump is really fight. He did put out some new sneakers.
Pull that shit up. Let's see these
motherfuckers. Oh, wow.
Got it down in the chat. Pull that shit up.
Wow, this dude is wild.
Yeah, either way, Anaya, that's pretty much what they boil down to. Their whole.
Hilarious.
I gotta see.
You can consider whole. You consider whole and AAVE.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, they look comfortable.
For dying.
Shoot.
I mean, if I need to run away from getting shot, they help me run faster.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Can we say Griff?
Wild.
Can we say Griff?
Man. I mean, yeah. Sexy Red, yep. Ice Spice, yep.
Right, the
lip goes Rico. That's wild.
I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. This is crazy.
I mean, I would too. I would too.
Not come
they
on,
do sell merch.
Yeah.
Getting shot.
Dude, we sell merch of people who get shot all the fucking time.
Yeah, but I'm not me. Not me.
Yeah.
Why not?
Not me. Hell no.
Why not? Tupac family make money off his likeness all the time. Ooh. Niggas who get shot get put on a t-shirt all the time. So,
well,
now what's the problem?
Okay, but
give me a pair.
People that are gone. I'm still here. I don't want to be reminded of
that. That's 50 Cent. That was 50 Cent whole way he got on. I got shot 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
He made a whole album about how he got shot 9 times.
Y'all different. I can't do that shit. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. That's hey, merch is merch. Shit, merch is merch.
That's wild.
Okay. Next clip. This shit got me disturbed.
Yeah, I've got a few questions before we get out of here. Now, for each candidate, Kamala and Donald, what would make you vote for them? Now, I know you said you would vote for a monkey before Trump, so I'm assuming who you're voting for, but I want you to make a case for each candidate. What would make you vote for them, no matter how outlandish it would have to be?
If it was Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me just think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
13 over 13.
And I'm gonna say, because I can't even think of a black policy that I think Trump would honestly do. But I'm just trying to think. I'll be honest with you. Trump could gain my interest if I saw him put forward, and it doesn't even have to benefit me. It's probably more of because he's a white guy, so I'm certainly not expecting him to do anything black. But if I saw him, I'm just not expecting him to. I just don't believe he would. Could
he do?
But
what could he do?
If I thought he was, you know what? If he put forward, because he being so wealthy, if he put forward a poor people's policy.
Okay.
Because I think
so Reverend William Barber has a poor people's campaign reminiscent of what. Okay. So if he went on that,
he could gain. I'd be like, I gotta listen to this motherfucker. I
get
could,
your interest.
but I don't. I think he think about poor people like he think about black people. Fuck them. I just really do. But if he could show me that humanity in him, I would listen to him. But I just don't see it. They're not in the next 10 lifetimes. He's never done anything for people.
Give me something, Rico. Give me, no matter how far fetched. If he created space travel for the common folk, I got fly to Mars in 15 minutes. Give me something, even if it's outlandish. Go ahead,
I got my answer for both.
For me, it has to be something to help poor people come out of poverty, because I think poverty appeals to a lot of things. But go ahead, Yella.
I was gonna say the only way I'm voting for Trump is if everybody else on the planet dies and I can't run for president. The only way I'm voting for Kamala Harris is also if everybody dies on the planet. Every single person dies on the planet. And I can't vote for president.
So wait, so it's only you and the two people running. That's the only way.
Yeah, and I can't run. And I can't run. We're the only two alive.
Okay,
yeah, and I can't run. Yeah, and I can't run.
So the only person stopping you from running will be the other person. I actually, if it's just the two of y'all alive, you could just be president because you could overpower either one.
Yeah,
Trump or Kamala.
Oh, I could just not vote.
Facto. You don't have to vote.
You said the only circumstances. You said the only circumstances that I would vote. Right, so I would have to be a voter. Right, I would have to be a voter. I would, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing, right? Let's play the game, right? Let's play the game, right?
This Yella,
because the only other person living. The only other person living wants you to vote for
the only other person alive, right? Yeah.
No, but Yella, give us a policy for each of them. Let's say this: you're not gonna vote for them, Yella, right? You're not gonna vote for them. Give me a policy that Trump and Kamala could do to make you say they're not the complete piece of shit I thought they were, or a policy that each of them could do that would surprise you about either one.
Institute federally mandated blowjobs. Since we was on that for everybody.
You got to do
everybody.
No, but I'm saying you got to do a policy for Trump. Give us a Trump policy that he would have to do to make you say, okay, I don't wish this motherfucker was dead. Give us a policy for Trump.
All right, like seriously, like a serious policy. All right, you want to be? Let's be serious. All right.
Like slightly serious.
I really don't give a fuck. Like I personally don't care about nobody getting nothing because I honestly don't think anybody deserves shit.
Okay.
As far as I am, and I mean, yeah, Rico, you catch me at a really bad time right now because I don't think nobody should get shit because ain't nobody really in the position to even fucking deserve it. But if there was a policy that he had to put in. For me, realistically, it would be something to implement something punishing mothers for violating fathers' rights.
Okay. Now give us a policy that Kamala would institute.
The same thing. That's the only legal policy. That's the only that's the only government policy that I give a shit. That's the only way I would look at them and be like, all right, they ain't complete pieces of shit.
Either one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Either one of them.
Okay, that's good. That's cool. All right, that's a policy at least. Okay, great. All right, cool. What about you?
Right.
Well, Arshawn, what about you? Cause you in the same place where you don't like neither one of them.
I don't like
give
either
us
one.
Give us a Trump policy first.
Trump would literally have to talk the current Republican House and Senate into proposing a bill to grant reparations for Black people that got passed in the months before the election. Now, which I know they're getting ready to leave if they haven't already left and they haven't handled anything. So they're getting ready to go into another one of those, the government shutdowns because the House and Senate hasn't done anything. He would have to talk them back into like a special session and get the Democrats in. And they actually got money into the hands of Black people before November, before that Tuesday. And if he got it done, if I had a direct deposit by that Monday, I could vote for him, but it would have to be a substantial amount, like reparation. They would have to be. I'd have to see movement and him, the ability for him to lead a gridlock party and to get reconciliation on the other side to also get them to move. That would show some kind of leadership quality, and I directly benefited. It would have to be that level, which is never going to happen, but it would have to be something on that level. For Trump.
Now Harris,
she's close enough to get my vote just by default because he picked JD.
No. But we need a policy from Harris. So forget JD. JD's not part of the equation. You don't like Harris.
If she did term limits term limits, age limits. If she did tax reform, if she
term limits for who?
Anybody right now, like
for everybody,
everybody, any form of government, like get these. I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing that I hate. Here's the thing I hate. I don't like the pensions. I don't like the pensions that they get paid for life. I don't like that. They need to stop that because that's like a compound interest. Like we have compound expenditures. Like there's no way we should be paying for the last 4 living senators that occupy the spot. That should never be happening. Like once you're out of a job, you should not still be getting paid. Retirement is fine, but that's not what they're getting. They're getting their exact same pension. The regular people don't get that exact same money in perpetuity. Most people have to live on 66% of their income if they, if they get that. But they have to be vested in for have so many years to get that type of pension. For Social Security, you got to have so many credits. If you have a state pension, you have to have so much time invested and money invested to get a full pension. And a full pension is not a full amount what you got paid. So they shouldn't have anything better than we have. So that's my thing with that.
You want her to set term limits? You want her
term
to
limits,
eliminate
age limits? But what I really would like is their pension, because I really think a lot of them get rich by just going in there, doing them a couple of years and getting those pensions, and then they quit being a senator, but they're getting that money in perpetuity. I can't. I think I don't know if it's like one term that they might have to do it to get vested. I'm not exactly sure the term, but I know they get that money in perpetuity, and that bothers me so much because nobody else in America gets that.
Okay,
nobody else gets that.
Top line: eliminate the congressional and Supreme Court and presidential too. Eliminate that pension. Well, the president get paid the same salary for the rest of life, no matter what. I don't know why.
That's what I'm saying. That's gotta go because they get money. They get money from too many other places now for that to be something that's necessary.
Trump is still getting.
I would say that I would be okay with the president getting it. A lot of the other positions, no, but the top head of the dude, you gotta get something for getting to be the president though.
But hold up real quick. Here's the thing: they're not doing the things because there are laws on the books where they're not supposed to be making money from businesses. They do insider trading. They're getting all these different exorbitant amounts of money and insider trading. So stock investments, and we know what was it? The Supreme Court justice were getting money and trips. So they're getting all kinds of like bribes and money into their campaigns. That Biden just had all that money in his campaign, but then stops his campaign. Where's that money go? Like all this money that they're getting, they don't even need these pensions most of the time, which is how Trump was able to give it away. Like Trump was like, I'm gonna give away my salary for the first
let me say that,
year or whatever.
Just
so
so let me just say so I can point it out to the audience. When you're the current president, your salary is $400,000 a year plus a $50,000 a year allowance, so like $450,000.
That's not even enough to get a chick on Kendra.
Okay, but listen, when you get out of office,
I can't stand
for the rest of your life, even after one term, you get $226,000 a year.
Okay,
so
that's 50%. That's 50%
for life. So you could do one term,
get
out,
years.
And you get 50%. Now, granted, in the military, you have to serve 20 years to get a 50% pension.
Right. We need something like that. We need something like that.
You see what I'm saying? So I just want to look it up, just say it so that we
appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, 20 years is far too long. Yeah, 20 years is too. I can see maybe 10 years, maybe like 10 years or something like that. 20 years is far too long.
For a president or for?
No, I'm talking about. I was talking about military.
Oh, no,
because it's kind of relative. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of relative. Like you getting voted in as opposed to enlisting. You know what I'm saying? So like you're signing up for a task that might require time. You got to put in, especially with the military, because that's a moving up through the ranks. Hell, Trump didn't have to move up through no ranks. He just jumped in the president.
And in the military, if you fall short of that 20, you don't get it. Period. You don't. I served 6 years. I don't get no pension. My son got 15. He got 5 more to do to get his. If you don't get 20, you get no pension.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe
And
if you
still
want to say like get
get
2
the
years
most
for every
paid,
get 2
but-
years for every 1 year you serve. For every 1 year you serve, you get 2 years. I'm
Yeah,
cool with
something
that.
like that. Yeah. 2 for 1.
You
Yeah,
talking
2
about
for 1
president?
sounds good. Yeah. 2 for 1 sounds
2
good.
for 1.
Are you talking about for president?
Not for
For the
the
military.
government. So like the
No.
I'm talking about like for senators, House of Reps,
Oh, okay.
president, like all them,
Okay.
like because all of them are getting these lucrative pensions. Like
But
for all of them.
But here's the thing: that rule applies for all government service except politicians. All except senators, Congress, congressional pensions, senatorial pensions, and presidential pensions, and I think the Supreme Court. But all others, you got to do that 20-year shit, or you don't get it. But
And I'm
for
talking
Senate,
about Senate, House of Reps,
Congress, House of Reps,
Yeah.
Senate, Supreme Court, and President. You can do one fuck. You can be elected. You can be appointed to the Supreme Court, serve 2 years, retire. You get a fucking lifetime pension.
And
You
that's
can
crazy.
be in Congress, serve maybe I don't know how long Congress is. Maybe it's 2 terms, which will be 4 years. You get a pension. Senate, I don't. But guess what? Guess who voted on that shit for them to get it? They did.
Yep, they voted
They
on
did.
raises. They voted
That's
on
the
raises.
problem.
Mhm.
They vote on the law that gives them that shit. But guess what? When it comes to you, they vote no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't like that kind of stuff.
There it is. That's the setup, folks.
But she would have to show me. She would have to show me that she's actually trying to curtail the largesse that they're giving themselves. Like, so that would be the ethic that I would want from her. And him, he would have to show me actionable steps. Like, that's why I said he would have to actually get something done for me to vote for him before. Like, that's the kind of leadership he'd have to get stuff done before he's even in office. Like, that's what I would need from Trump.
So
Her,
check
she would have
box.
to show me that.
So check box. Arshawn ain't voting for neither one of them motherfuckers because that ain't happening.
Man, it's
not
be tough.
happening. Neither one is happening.
Those.
That shit is.
That
Shit is. I won't.
That shit's not happening.
Dude dressed as a dude playing another dude.
Oh man, look, I'm almost got triggered. Right now, I'm so look. Oh my god, that's a whole nother. Nope, it's a whole nother stream.
Playing Tony Stark, just like
Dude playing Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What's happening?
Oh shoot.
Oh man. All right. I'm not.
Trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, last couple. You remember your point you was getting ready to make, Yella? Or did Dr. Doom trigger you?
No, I was triggered by Dr. Tony Doom.
Ooh, shoot. Okay, who would your ideal candidate be? And like, tell me, like, if there's an existing person, tell me who that person is, or tell me what that person would be like. Like, how would they show up in the world?
Wait a minute. What was the question again?
Who would your ideal candidate be if there's a current person for president? Who would your ideal presidential candidate be? And if you don't have a ideal candidate, like build them. Like, tell me how they would be.
Build a candidate.
All right.
Yeah, the Supreme Court is appointed. Did somebody say the Supreme Court? Oh no, okay, those dogs said that. Okay,
so I got Matt. So my ideal candidate outside of myself, because I think I will have some decent and reasonable. I think I could be as fair as possible. I believe in balance and fairness and kind of trying to get people, because that's what people saying they want. Now, are people going to be happy with the fairness? No.
Okay.
The unfortunate part. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody while attempting to please everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just absolutely positively impossible to do. But if I had to pick somebody outside of myself, it'll probably be The Rock. Like I said, that's my.
Yeah, you did say that before. Yep.
Yeah, that's my candidate. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the final boss. Mama Rose, get him out there, because like I said, not only is he somebody that people generally respect, right? He's generally liked. You know what I'm saying? He understands dealing with people.
He does.
He understands psychology, being a wrestler. He understands how people can think, how you can connect with people emotionally. Plus, he help people out. He do for people. You know what I'm saying? He's the giving type of person. He looks for the people to help out. So that's kind of the ideal president that I would want. Somebody who can just generally be liked. You don't have to go out of your way to be liked, but don't try to be disliked. I think that's the one thing that be holding me back from Trump. You going out of your way to start shit. We are already in a society where shit is completely fucked. Like people can't get I think that's our bigger problem besides financial shit, because money is money is money. You gonna be broke or you gonna not. That's really just up to you and how the shit go. But I think we at a civil unrest more than we're at a financial deficit, because we can make money. Because making money is a very individualized thing. But people ain't getting along. Not even at a micro level. But who don't like?
Shut up, bitch!
In this motherfucking stream.
You and your wrestlers.
I mean,
Sean, it was a hard fucking question.
Okay.
I obviously come from the school of lesser of two evils because that's what we. No, I wouldn't do Aemon. I would do Damien Targaryen, not Aemon. So Bree, I'm a Daemon Targaryen. I know.
No, the one that got me is Mike from Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
I'm with that. I'm with that. And Mike is a good leader, though. Mike is definitely a good leader. He led Sully to be the top scarer. You know what I'm saying?
True.
All the time.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good leader and motivator.
Nothing,
Jon Snow.
No, not Jon Snow. I would do Tyrion Lannister. That would be Tyrion. Tyrion.
Okay.
That would be my guy. But in real life, since we're not in the thrones, I'll be honest with you. I'd like to take a spin with fucking Marianne Williams.
Okay. All right.
I just really would. I would. I'm like, give her a fucking shot. She definitely can't be any worse than anything we've ever had been. I find her to be a wildly empathetic person, and I think we could use a non-politician empathetic, because Trump, while I agree he was a non-politician, that motherfucker has no empathy for anybody.
Yeah,
he's full of empathy, and I'm like, okay, we've done the bullshit businessman. Can we get somebody in there that has empathy for other people? Yeah. That's it. So. But other than that, I can't build anybody. They're all fucked up. I'm just a voter of lesser of fucking two evils. And give me Marianne Williamson, because of Williams, however you say her last name, over the last couple of years, I knew she stood a snowball's chance in hell of winning or even coming. I kind of like Robert Kennedy until I found out he was bought and compromised, because he did talk to black people at the barbershop. But then I was like, his son recorded him on fucking video talking to Trump for a fucking job. I was like, Jesus Christ. So it's kind of hard to pull.
What's that lady name?
Marianne Williams.
What's her name?
Marianne Williams. I think that's her name, right, Arshawn?
Yes, either Williams or Williamson, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Marianne Williamson.
I think it's like Nova.
It's either Williams or Williamson. One of those.
Right. She was on the Breakfast Club too. I mean, she talks well. She has all these. She's an idealist. You know, and they call her not serious. I'm like, so fucking what? None of you fucking assholes are serious either. Yeah. But I would vote for her.
I ain't never heard of that woman.
White woman.
Don't Don't put no white woman in office, please.
Come on, Lee. Well, hey, I got love for my Beckys.
Now here's because this I fuck it.
She's a different kind of Becky. Go ahead.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with a Wahite woman. I don't mind. I'm starting to build the ones that I like. I'm like, okay, that one ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? It might broaden my horizons. Who knows? But it sucks because
weed Yella. I think she's a weed smoker.
I mean, that changed a lot.
Yes.
That changed a lot now. Hold on.
Yes,
I mean, you ain't say all that. No, leave with that next
I can't stand people.
Yes.
No, leave,
ignorant.
no, Rico, leave with that next time.
Okay.
See, now I might investigate a little more. But she's this is gonna say she's old too. She's 72.
Okay. Yeah, she a little bit up in age. Yes, she's that. But she's old.
1 a.m. And shout out the dog, man. He hung out with us till 1 a.m. Appreciate you. Go to bed. And my tweet didn't get through to you because I'm not verified. It said failed to send because I'm not verified. Sorry. I did send a message to you when you asked me to a while back. I went to check to see if you ever sent anything back and it said failed to send because I'm not verified. So I'm a loser. Sorry I couldn't get you the message, man.
Salute to you, dog. Appreciate you being here.
Peace, dog.
Clear.
It'll be built on limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing. You know what I'm saying? That'll be his platform.
Did you say vote stealing?
Either way. That's the dirtiest player in the game. He'll win by any cost.
Oh, shoot. All right, cool. Well, listen, let me run through this chat real quick because they had answered 2 questions that I wanted to. So when we talk about what would the platform have to be for us to vote for that, why said have to release all nonviolent felons. Need to make weed legal at the federal level. Conscious said he would vote for Trump if the Trump stepped down. He would only vote for him if he stepped down. So vote for him to step down. That'd be crazy.
Okay,
says 100.
Who has to do this? I like your suggestion. 100K towards the house and capping rent. 100%.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Is that both or either, or is it like one has to do this, the other has to do that, or both of them have to do that? If so, I think it's great for both of them. I would definitely be on board with that.
Yeah, both of them. If either one of them was to do that, that'll probably tip the scales too.
That's a good one. Also, watch deprivatizing all jails. Yes, because I think that takes the incentive for just locking motherfuckers up for no reason.
Yeah.
I can't help
Trump
you with that.
Messed up Greg because he picked the fuck with. All right, let's the next question.
Wait. Let me get on Greg. I thought JD would be one of your people. You always
Hillbilly. Hillbilly.
Yeah, Greg. I remember your ass. Yes. JD, one of your peoples.
And into the question of who people everybody wanted as their candidate. Nova wants Greg Bryant. We got some Jack Reacher, Rambo, Chuck D. Y'all people crazy. We went through the Mike Amon, Mike Tyson. Hi, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, off them shrooms. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jon Snow. Ghetto. Negan is crazy. Negan? You want Negan?
We might need
Mike Lowry.
I can respect
Pedro.
Negan. Who's Pedro?
Vote for Pedro.
Napoleon Dynamite. The movie
Vote
Napoleon
Pedro.
Dynamite.
Okay. And who's this?
A little nerd dude. Vermithor is a dragon.
Wait a minute, from where? From what?
From House of the Dragon. Vermithor is one of the dragons.
Whose dragon is he? Whose dragon is he?
Now you past me.
Shit, I ain't looking
I'm a
this
big
thing.
House of Dragons fan.
Yeah.
I don't miss it.
I'd vote for Deadpool. That'll be
He was the Mount of King Jaehaerys. King Jaehaerys wrote Vermithor.
King Jaehaerys?
Listen, we ain't about to go through the Song of Fire and Ice. Greg Bryan said I will vote for Gabbard. Trump dropped the ball, not picking her.
No fucking Tulsi Gabbard.
DJ Doe said Magic Johnson. He beat AIDS.
Wow, Dose. Wow.
And the time said she vote for Barney. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Barney was on some sus shit though. No, I don't know. Barney was...
He is fake. He's faking everything.
But he's a redneck, fake or not.
Oh, the new dude that had the sick kid.
Hugh Hammer. Oh my God.
That's the porn name.
I'm gonna make that my new nickname.
Huge Hammer.
No, I didn't read it, Greg.
Huge Hammer.
I just know he played hillbilly, so I just figured he was one of your people. King J. Harris was King. So was King J. Harris? So was King J. Harris is the guy that died in from episode 1 to no, she's not running Patrice. I just said that he was asking us to come up with who we would want.
Yeah.
No, but she's not running again.
My candidate would win though. My candidate would beat Rico's candidate. He would cut the best promo on her.
Yeah, The Rock would.
I just liked her. I liked her.
The Rock would win in the talk off.
Yeah, he would win, but I liked her with a weed smoking. Something that I need y'all to hit me on this King Harris and King Viserys. Viserys is who started out as the king in House of the Dragon? Was it Jaehaerys or Viserys? Oh, we ain't got no House of Thrones fans in the fucking chat.
I watched the show, but them names is like dealing with the mom that's got 6 kids.
Yeah,
you got the name. Okay, Midnight Snack. Jaehaerys is the king that was the king in season 1. He died.
Jesus, Rico.
Yes or no?
Man,
once I know
you got
that,
the folks in the chat.
I'm good once I know that.
Jaehaerys, Lacaris, Viserys, Maneris, Delaris. Like I'm good. Yeah. So I got one last question while you waiting on the answer.
Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Oh my.
So
can you
last
give me
question for the two of you? You know, stop asking about these goddamn dragons, Rico. I got a question for you.
On the dragon.
All right, now listen.
Dragons. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, I got a last question. Now, people, for whatever reason, it's November. You know, they're talking about the elections, and for some reason, every time they're talking about the precincts coming in, Trump and Biden, their votes are just not going up. The tally is not going up. And everybody's talking about this write-in candidate. Come to find out, most of America has voted for you as the write-in candidate, and you win. You win the election for president. You're going to have to select the running mate, and what are your top 3 priorities? Go. Who's your running mate, and what are your top 3 priorities now that you've been elected?
What the fuck? Woo!
Hey, you woke up to the great news, man. You're the new president of the United States. But now you got to pick a running mate.
And I'm trying.
And what are your top 3 priorities?
Okay, priorities. To wind down these wars and conflicts that we're in. That's number 1. That's one of them.
Okay.
All
right.
2, I would say so wind down the wars, try to get inflation under control.
Okay.
And 3, I'm just doing priorities. And 3, regardless of what I pick, 3, again, I would try to do something around trying to elevate. What could I do I would do kind of like, I would try to attack some of the issues that Minister Barber talked about. I would try to do an issue around poverty for the poor people.
Okay, so war, inflation,
inflation, and poverty. Those would be my 3 priorities that I would try to focus on. As far as who's a fucking running mate, that's harder than my fucking priorities.
Who would you trust to have your back? Come on, your wife?
Nah, hell no.
Shoot.
Go ahead, Yella. Think about your priorities while I think about my running mate. Fuck.
All right. I got mine. So,
all right, let's go.
My running mate. I wake up. First of all,
obviously you're picking The Rock.
No. I need somebody who's gonna play second. Because if I won, then I'm playing the role of The Rock. It's because I talked my way into. Yeah, you gonna acknowledge me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I am the tribal chief. Yeah, I'm the final boss now. My running mate would be Yella. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
Legalize weed, subsidize weed, and replace the dollar with weed. This dude is
Yep. But no, my running mate would actually probably be Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay.
My three priorities would have to do with weed, but it would be funding into medical research on how we can start to supplement a lot of the medicine that we use through cannabis and hemp and shit like that. Like replace a lot of see what we can do with replacing a lot of the harmful shit, the shit that causes a lot of the opiate addictions and shit like that, Vicodin, all that shit that people be getting either addicted to or side effects.
Okay.
Like heavy on side effects. Like people deal with side effects more than anything. It's like you be watching the game or something, and then a heart medication come on the TV.
Man,
medication commercial come on, and they be like,
blindness,
take this,
suicide, paralysis.
Wait, hold on. Take this for your heart, but one of the side effects is rapid heartbeat. What the fuck type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying?
It'd be crazy, man. It'd be crazy. Uh-oh. Dang. Side effects got it.
Yella took my fucking vice president.
The side effect? Neil deGrasse Tyson? You was gonna try to say Neil deGrasse Tyson?
He would have, but he took him. But and here's the weird thing about it.
I don't even know what happened. My bad.
Outside of Neil deGrasse Tyson, I just thought about it. It just came in my head. I would say, and Greg, you probably gonna fucking hate me. You're really gonna hate me because you said I'm taking Trump's platform, and I don't know how, but you're probably gonna hate me. I would take fucking Warren Buffett.
Okay.
As the fucking VP. I would want a businessman. I think I find him, at least I don't know him. He seems to be empathetic somewhat, but he is very much a businessman. So I don't want America to go broke. So does that sound? Oh, okay. You approve, Greg? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that face. Well, it does look like I approve.
Go on. He has got the best hair, man. Look at that hair. He's got the 80s hair going, man. Beautiful.
I would pick Warren Buffett because I think he's empathetic, but I think he's a great businessman. I think he's very serious minded. I think while he is in the business of making money, he's also not like what they call what Mitt Romney was, with the type that would buy up businesses and strip them and shit. And there's a term they use for him. Of course, I would only last one term. I'm okay with it. Yes, he's very old, but I don't give a damn. I wouldn't have one glorious term and be done. You put me on the spot, but those would be my choices: good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay, I like.
So we was doing 3 of them, right?
Yeah, 3. Your top 3. Your first one was like the weed in place of like all these other medications.
Right.
Cannabis.
Yeah. I think my second one would definitely crack down on like child endangerment and shit like that. Start making that a little, you know what I'm saying? We improve their laws on punishment with that shit. And the reason I would pick Neil is because my third priority would be how the fuck we gonna get up off this bitch. in a couple years? How are we gonna get up off this planet and maintain the survival of humanity?
Okay.
Because we're on a dying planet, but we want the civilization to live on. So we gonna kick Space Force for real into goddamn motion.
Okay.
And we finna get out here. Yeah, I know it's gonna be some funding. It's gonna be some money, but you gotta think about your grandchildren.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's why Neil would be a specific pick.
Yeah. For the science part. Good choices, fellas. Listen, I appreciate y'all for taking this time out to have this conversation with me. I enjoyed it. Man, definitely went a totally different way than I expected, but I thank y'all for being those type of dudes, man. I love it. Y'all got me up here laughing about things I had no idea I was going to be laughing about today. I had no idea I was going to be thinking about the NABJ the way I do think about it now. Like, yeah. I can't stop thinking.
I'll stop awesome BJs.
But that's just ridiculous. But everybody that came through, man, appreciate all of y'all in the chat, man, for rocking with us, giving answers to the questions, man. I enjoyed reading them. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get IG in here tomorrow because he had some stuff he wanted to say on the Kamala effect. And then I'm doing something big. I'm trying to put something big together, but I got a lot of material to sort through. So I'm trying to put together another my little video essay type thing. I'm trying to do that for Monday. I'm gonna try to get that ready. By then, I'll probably be Kamala'd out because there's only so much I like thinking about a topic, and I'm already halfway there. So hopefully I can get through it, and y'all will see me on that Monday. But tomorrow, me and IG will be chopping it up. Bree and Yella, y'all always welcome to come through. But that'll be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully IG, everything's cool on his front, and we can have that conversation. And that's it, y'all. We about to get up out of here, man. Just remember, there he is.
Bring back chaotic with the X.
Man, oh man, what was her? No, it wasn't chaotic. What was her name?
Gothics.
Gothics. I'm sorry, Gothics with the X. Okay.
Gothics with the X.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. That was good. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. We are going to head out on this note.
And if you want to keep loving your body, you know who to go for.
We gonna get bombed. Just letting you know.
We gonna be all right.
We gonna get bombed.
Got to end with Duri's question I forgot to address. We end with that on the screen. Shout out to Kamala Harris.
Shit.